Dad. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. You're like, what the hell? Yeah, I'm outside. I'm outside in the garden. Stroke allotment. Love it. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, and welcome to Real Talk with Simply Deez. And today is Tuesday, the 5th of September. As always, somehow, I know, I just kind of packed. It's a packed show. So, that's my cousin who's waiting in the wings. Can you put her on, Shell, before she disappears? She'll think she's not in the show. She goes, I can't. Don't know if you can see me. Yeah. Don't you worry, Ash. Yay!
And now she's frozen herself.
I don't know what I did.
Hi, Ash.
Hello, good evening.
Oh, well, it is evening for us.
Yeah.
So, greetings. You are the very first guest of tonight's show. Welcome. And if you think I'm crazy, well, I am. But this is how it is. The show is live. We are beaming to the masses. Last time we had people messaging from Malawi. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that Africa. Because we are live on this page, which is Simply Deez Events. We're live on Pamtengo Radio, and we are also on our YouTube page. We're nearing the 1 million marker.
That's
in
great.
terms of viewers, Ash. I know. We can't believe it. I bet you don't believe it either.
I believe it. I believe anything that comes out of your mouth.
Okay, so you guys are thinking like, so who's this Ashley Lindsay? Yeah, good question. Very good question. So, Ashley Lindsay, we're related.
We are.
No way. Does she sound like she's got a bit of a twang, a bit of an accent, guys? So for those of you watching, we're going to give them 5 secs to guess where Ashley is beaming live. She's supposed to be working, but she's taken a little lunch break early. Where is Ashley coming from? Do you know what? I can't believe I got you on the show, and I've not even shared this with the fam. Eek. I'm going to do that now. I know it's not the same as being live. It's not the same as being live. So Ashley is from the US of A. Ashley, tell the guys where you are beaming from right now.
I am beaming from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Wow. So they're thinking like, so why Dee Bailey got her on the show? Not only is this wonderful, beautiful lady my cousin, and for some of you know, had a bereavement earlier this year, May time, and had to fly out to America, be with mum. And this young lady here took care of my mum better than me, you know, so you guys know she did good, real good. So please, thank you so honestly, thank you so much. And obviously when I come over there now, things changed. She weren't so kind. No, I'm only kidding, guys. I'm only kidding. She was just as wonderful to me. Ash, tell the masses out there, tell them just a little bit about yourself, as in like, I'm on air now, used to go into the studio, but for me, I wouldn't be able to get you obviously into the studio. So it's fab that when we're online, we can reach people all over the world. So tell the guys just a bit about you, your life, if you don't mind.
Sure. So my name is Ashley. I am Dee's cousin from America, Boston specifically. I would coin myself as a media professional, a broadcast media professional. I've worked in radio for quite a few years, and I'm currently in radio. I manage the ads that play on air. So if you ever listen to a radio station and you hear the commercials that play on air, there's what we call traffic department that schedules and reconciles and bills for all of these different things that you hear on air for an advertiser. So I'm the one that does that. or me and my boss take care of that.
Yeah, don't forget your boss. You ain't gonna have no
No.
job, girl.
No, I need, yeah, I need that. So I've been doing traffic for a few years, but I am trained to actually perform on air. I haven't done it in a while, but I am professionally trained to host the show. So I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to get back into it. But for right now, I'm behind the scenes, and that works for me. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, so as you live in the US, but where's your home, darling? Where is your home? See, Tishi, put it in. Tishi's my niece, my sister's daughter. Tishi, put it in this link. Put it in our WhatsApp group so that David and Mary and they can all see it. Because I forgot. Can you do that for me, darling? Sorry, Ash.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, where is your home? Your true home?
My true home. Well, that's a loaded question. It's a loaded question because I could say it's a half hour from here in Randolph, Massachusetts, but where my heart is in Montserrat.
Yes. Woohoo! Any Montserratians, we're calling out to you. Please, Shirley, Gerald, all the rest of them, show some love. Drop us a hi in the chat. Let us know you are there. We might get somebody. You never know, Ash. We might. We might. Okay, so where is the rest of the fam? Are they around or are you on your own?
The rest of the fam is around. I have 4 sisters and a brother. My sisters are here in Massachusetts. My brother is in Texas. My mother and father are in Massachusetts, but some of my extended family actually resides in Montserrat. So that's why I'm there all the time.
You are. This girl really is. When she says that, she's not joking. She really is.
Yeah, I'm there like too much. Although there are some people who are there more than me.
I know.
So they got better time off than I do. But yes. So yeah, home is in Montserrat. A lot of extended family members in Montserrat. But the home base is in the United States. Most of my immediate family members are in the United States.
I know. Okay, so I know I've interrupted your working day because obviously there's 4 or 5 hour difference? Can't remember.
I think it's 4 or 5. I think it's 5.
Yeah, 5 hour difference. I'm so buzzing because she's going, I'm not coming on. I'm not. And I go, you watch. I'm not. And I'm like, I've sent you the link. She goes, what's that for? And I goes, what do you think? I said, you thought I'd forgotten, didn't you? You were hoping.
I had it in my calendar, and I said if I didn't hear from you, I was gonna text you and just confirm. But I knew you would remember. This is something big. So.
Oh, it is. I'm outside in the garden at the minute. We're having what we call an Indian summer. Our summer was really rubbish. I was going to say something a little bit stronger. It was really, really rubbish. And now the kids have literally gone back to school yesterday and today. And this is always what's happened. We then have what we call an Indian summer. And it's rocketed to, I don't know what in terms of what it is there. But I mean, we're talking like 29, 30 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. That's mega hot.
Yeah, it's about degrees here too. Well, I don't know what it is in Celsius. But it's about 80 or so here. So yeah, we're getting some hot days too.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot because guess what? I can.
Okay.
Don't try and cut yourself off because I'll only just wait for you to connect back on again. Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? As in job, as in I don't know. It could be where you're living. Just anything.
So in 5 years, I will be almost 38. I hope to be married by then.
So are we putting something out there to the masses, or hey, you never know on this show. Trust.
I mean, if anybody comes along, I'm open. I'm open.
Okay, this is a matchmaking service we run here as well. We do everything on the show, everything.
All right.
Okay, yep.
But I would definitely, I think in terms of personal life, I would definitely hope to be married. I would hope to have at least one child. In terms of professional career, how do I put this? I know how much I would like to make at that stage of life. I'm not exactly sure what I'd like to be doing. Probably something a little bit more hands-on in the on-air realm of radio. I think that would be great, and if it comes with a pay raise, I would be delighted.
Of course. But should that not happen, the whole radio, the whole of that side of things, what else is your kind of like, do you know what? I'd be happy also doing that as another career, as another alternative.
Recently, I've been really encouraged to start a podcast. I've been avoiding it for quite some years, to be honest.
Okay, can I ask the question why?
I just don't think anybody's going to listen. Like, everybody has a podcast. Everybody has a
podcast. So?
I know.
How do you know? So part of this is, as you've probably seen, the show is called RealTalk. Okay, so what you're saying now, the masses out there, there's so many others that are exactly the same. Do you know what I want to do? It might not be a podcast. It could be anything at all. And you know when they sort of talk, there's a glass ceiling and there's obstacles. 90% of the time, maybe slightly less, we, is my hand, we are actually the obstacles. Do you know what I mean? So how about kind of like throwing it out there, as in the podcast? Let me think, what's the worst that could happen if you were to start one?
It doesn't work.
But I don't know, what does it mean it doesn't work? Are you saying you don't think you'd have at least one listener? Is that what you're saying?
I think I'll have a few.
Okay, so let me throw this to you then. So when I started doing the show and lots of other things that I was doing, do you know what? There was literally, I was paying big money for venue, for food, and had like maybe 5 people out of pocket each time. And it's a case of, it would have been easy to stop because I was losing money. Do you know what I mean? I was losing money. But those 5 people that were attending, they were getting the message of what I was trying to do. And so I just persevered. When you know, everybody's got a gift and a talent. You know that. And you have got one, Ashley. And it's not fair to us, the universe, that you are not sharing it with us.
Yeah, you got a point.
Just thinking like, oh, it's true. So let's say, for instance, you're doing the podcast, and to you, it's an amazing, it's like anything we do, it's amazing. But do you know what? You've got 2 listeners. What if you doing that podcast has impacted them to then, I don't know, do something different, change maybe their career path, or maybe inspire them to do something, whatever it might be, then surely you're doing the right thing for the right reasons. No?
That's a point.
What sort of topics would you be covering? Or I don't know, what sort of thing, genre? Would it be a genre? Would it be anything and everything?
I think there's a couple things that I probably would have touched on. I have a passion for mental health because I've dealt with mental health issues in the past. And I've noticed that when I speak out on it, it seems like it affects people. So that is probably one thing. And probably relationships, romantic relationships.
Do you want to share anything with us now? No.
No.
Oh, I love you so much, Ashley. I love you. So I tell you what, guys, what I'm going to do, do you know what? I'm going to let you go, Ash. Do you know why that is? Why do you think that might be?
Because I got to get back.
No, that's for you to navigate that. That's because I'm going to get you back. So when I get you back, to me a few months' time, please note, everybody, Ashley will be coming back on the show, and Ashley's going to give us details of the podcast that she started or she's about to start. So we will get you on the show and do a little sort of like, I don't know, it's launching on whatever date it is. And there you go, Ash.
All
See?
right.
Oh, I don't know who all these people are. Please, whoever you are, please tell us UK. Please tell us where you're watching, listening from. It's great to see so many people. And when all those hearts and loves, was that the relationship part that you guys are giving that for? Or was that the mental health? Or was it both? Oh, do you know these people, Ash?
I don't.
Wow. Mental health is real, and we must be well versed on this topic. So true. So true. So this show, as I said, is called Real Talk. We do have we talk about anything and everything. So say, for instance, you said to me, Dee, what are you talking about this week? I'm like, I don't even know. I got guests. There is no interview. We don't interview. It's just conversation. It's just chat as it is now. And then we get responses from those people in the audience. And it's a case of like, yeah, we know we're on the right path. So there you go, Ash. Please don't say you've come on here, because you know, obviously, you can watch this back on YouTube. It's on Facebook, and it'll be on there for eternity. And the 5th of September 2023, we've had this conversation. So you let me know, you hit me up, but we'll be conversing anyway, and let us know. I want to get you back when you're going to launch the podcast. Just going, oh my gosh, I got to do it. Yes, guys, those that are watching, I always say to people, share. The reason I say share is because so many people we're going to touch throughout the show. We touch so many different people in different ways. Please show some love for Ash. What do you think? Should she do the podcast, or should she just like, nah, not bother? I need to see some messages. What do you got? Oh, this is a producer, by the way, Ash. She's not only the producer, she's also one of the directors in my organisation. So she's very key. Now, she is totally honest. So honest, scares me sometimes. So, Shell, what are your thoughts?
There's nothing that you can just give it a go. Give it a go. You just don't know what's going to happen. And if it's something, even if it's something that you're interested in, it helps you start talking about things. So it doesn't need to be the mental health thing. It could be anything you want. But if you've got the passion in it, it comes across then through on your podcast.
Yeah.
And
she has.
Deez also then said to do the podcast. She's coming up next, and she's saying
she's the lady that's. Bring her on, Shell, if you can. This is a very good friend, Ash, of mine, who's going to be the next guest. But she's just, yeah.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hi, V. What do you think? This amazing young lady. Remember, when I went to America, because of my uncle passed and all the rest of it and that. Remember, my mum was out there and all that. This is a young lady who was just taking care of my mum better than I was. I mean, I wasn't even there, but I mean, that's how, and what sort of, all the things that I said. She's amazing, absolutely amazing. So I said I was going to get her on. She's like, I said, you're coming on. Interrupt your work day. Come on. Now she's mentioned the podcast. What are your thoughts, V? What do you think?
My thoughts are this, that if you have a message, if you have something of value that you want to share with others, a podcast is a very good vehicle, a very good way of doing it. Because if you were to transport yourself a year from now, and then you're looking back and you didn't do the podcast, how would you feel? So yeah, do it.
All right.
Do it, do it, do it, do it.
Small steps, but do it. Make a start.
Yeah.
Make a start.
Because I sort of said, bearing in mind next year will be 10 years. Oh my gosh, 10 years of Simply Deez. And V was around at the very, 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 very beginning. And V, am I lying in saying like sometimes, do you know what I mean? I've got a venue, so I paid for venue, I paid for the food, and there's a handful of people. So I was losing money. I was losing money, but it's a case of you just, if you know what you're doing, and I know you're passionate about this, Ash, do it. And you will be surprised. You, honest to God, I know already, you'll be so surprised. You're thinking, why would people want to listen to me? How many podcasts are out there and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, who wants to listen to? I don't know. I think there was one I heard that, I don't know, whoever it was, they literally just crunch crisp packets or something like that. And you're thinking, sorry? And there's a podcast and they do this, and people that love sounds and things like that seem to, and it's very, very popular and you're thinking, really? So,
yeah. And also to add to that, Dee, imagine you can join podcasts where the host eats. The host sits and eats something.
yeah.
Yeah, ASMR. Yeah.
Hey.
Sort of that.
You didn't think you were going to come on and get this, did you now, Ash? No.
I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest.
That's okay. I'm going to let you go. Just keep it on in the background because you may want to comment, because we're going to come back to you. I'm going to talk about you throughout the show.
Okay.
I'm going to refer back to you because, as I sort of said before, there's some people are silent. So just because you're thinking like, well, nobody's commented, I'm out and about and I'm like, I saw your show and I'm thinking like, well, why didn't you comment? Nah, I wouldn't comment. But they're watching and taking it in. So, yeah, we'll get you back for the launch.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Ashley. No problem, darling. Thank you so much. And I will catch up with you really soon. Give my love to Mom and to Amber and, oh my gosh, Anthony and Bambino. I can't remember his name.
AJ.
That's it, AJ. And to Mum Margaret, of course. Okay?
Thank you for having me.
All right, darling. No problem. Take care. Bye-bye. See, we're beaming. We're global. You know that already, V.
It's wonderful.
We are global. Do I look like I'm outside my yard?
Yes, you look like you're sitting outside.
I am. I'm sitting outside.
Yes.
Been inside all day, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to come outside for a little bit. And then when it gets thingy that, I'm going to go inside. But in the meantime, it's absolutely beautiful. And I was sort of saying to Ash, I said, like, we've just literally, summer weren't really we didn't have no summer. It was labelled as summer, but there weren't no summer. And I said, this always happens. The kids go back to school and then the temperature just rockets. So it's been kind of super hot. Now, I've been inside, and I'll be honest with you, it's so weird. You've got on is it a denim dress or jacket?
It's a shirt. It's a very light denim shirt. I only put it on for you.
I took mine off. That's what I had on, and I put on a dress. Now, the thing is, I'm inside, and Lloyd's going to me, ain't you hot? And I'm like, no. And I know it was super hot outside today, but I'm being honest with you, I was not hot. Now then, give it a little while, and then I'll feel like I've got a Bunsen burner thing going on. And I don't even know what's going on right now. And I've spoken to a few friends, and it's a case of like, yeah, you know, we talk that menopause thing, but then it's kind of like you think things are kind of settled, and you kind of like, you know what's what, and you got kind of got a handle on it. Then I don't know what's happened. All of a sudden, it's like something's kicked back in, and I'm not sure what it is. So I know we've had you on the show so many times, V, and there's plenty of people that know who you are, but there was somebody that was chatting, and I don't know who that was. I've asked for them to put in the chat. I don't know if Shell can say like where people are coming from, because we had somebody in Malawi last time. We had Malawi, we had US and some other places. So V, just very, very briefly, because we're covering quite a bit, me and you, in a moment, about you, and then let's tell them about Sunday and why they need to be there.
Right. Okay. So I'm Veronica Ebanks. I am the founder and owner of Veralba Mind and Body, which is a small one-woman micro business making skincare, but also I'm a trainer. So I go out and I deliver training around safeguarding children and adults at risk. What else do? I do quite a few things. I'm an author. I support individuals who may want to write a book. Creativity.
Yeah.
Exactly. Spoken word poetry. So I write. So I'm a writer. So I write, I perform, I do a little bit of theatre. Yeah. And I used to do a little bit of singing. I used to sing as well, but I don't do the singing so much now. But yeah, so that's me. So do I dive straight in?
Let's dive straight in, V. Let's dive straight in.
Okay. So, and also I'm a person that has a background. I do have a backstory, right? So if people are looking at me thinking, gosh, she must have been born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Yes, I went to an all-girls school, but I had quite a traumatic start in life. My childhood into my teens were very traumatic, but I've weathered and survived. I'm an overcomer of difficulties and trauma. And here I am today, still pushing myself and encouraging myself to step forward, like Ash, to do the podcast. I need stuff. I talk to myself too, V, why are you putting yourself in your own way and not doing what you need to do? Because you have value to give. And as I always say, the boat was created not for the harbor. The boat was created to go out.
Oh, I like that one.
Right? And then you put into harbor after you've accomplished the journey. You come back into harbor and you rest. And then guess what? You go out again. So as a boat, use that analogy. I am the boat. I wasn't made to sit in the harbor. I was made to go out and adventure and go to sea and do things. All right.
But V, we're still going to be talking, but we sort of like talk in between. So I'm somebody who's watching and like, you're so confident. I'm watching you and sort of like even say like me. And it's like, you're so confident. You do all these things and what have you. That can you, if you don't mind, just give sort of like I don't know, just one thing that I don't know, a year or so ago or 2 years ago, there is like no way on this earth would you ever think that you would do, and now you are doing that. And yeah.
Do you know, I've always loved literature. Always love, because I've always written and I've always done my own kind of little thing to myself, all by myself in secret. I had my own personal creativity secrets that I kept. But in my adulthood, an opportunity came up. Now, this is me going on the stage in public in 2016 for the first time. And I don't mean to go as part of a group to sing, because that's different. You go up to as a group, you're singing as a group. I'm singing in the soprano section, right? That's different. But I'm going to be on the stage delivering my own work. And that was 2016. And it was frightening. I'm not going to lie. It was terrifying. But guess what? I did it scared anyway. And haven't looked back since.
Sorry, what are some of in terms of your thoughts, what were you thinking? Were you thinking that people wouldn't like your work? Were you thinking that you might just clam up? I don't know. What are the sort of things that were going through your...
Right. Some of the things that went through my head, because I almost pulled out. Before the show, I rang the organizer and almost pulled out because I just had this attack of nerves and thinking, actually, number one, come on, you're an old woman. You're a mature woman. You're a grandma. How are you going to be going on the stage? You're a grandmother. You need to be at home. What? Maybe knitting or cooking or something. You're not going on stage with all the young people. But guess what? So with all those limitations in my head, you're a Black woman, you're getting on in age, you're someone's mum, you're someone's grandma. What if you go up there and embarrass your kids and embarrass the family? What if your work's rubbish? What if my work? All these thoughts What if I go up there on stage and then I go dumb? I'm struck dumb and I can't speak and I'm just standing there like in the film, the children's film Sing. Just stands there and nothing comes out. So you have all these anxieties and all these fears. But what I've learned is that the audience, they want you to do well. They want to hear what you've got. They want to hear what you're going to deliver. And the majority of the audience, I can say 99.9% of the audience, they want you to do well. They don't want you to, none of them are standing there saying, oh, I wish you'd fall off the stage. I wish you'd be struck dumb. Nobody is thinking that. Everyone is just anticipating, oh, okay. They're taking the visuals because obviously you're real. You're not an apparition. They can't see. You're not transparent. You're there. And you're going to share your work that you have prepared, that you've crafted, or someone else's work that you're going to put your spin on. So with all the nerves and with all the anxieties, you still step forward when your name is called and do it.
Wow. Comments. I can't, unfortunately, because I'm on my phone, and last time I touched my phone, it kicks me out of StreamYard, so I cannot touch my phone. So I can't see any comments that are, or if there are comments coming through. But please, guys, please continue to share. It's so important. Tell us what's happening Sunday, V.
Right.
Something
and hi, Tishi. I saw Tishi put hi in the chat, in the comments. Yes, so Sunday, I'm running or putting on a webinar for anybody. Now, this is interesting because it's not just for women, and the webinar is called, I think there is something going to be put in the chat, I think, or it may be in there already. It's Fibroids, Hysterectomy and Beyond, What We Need to Know. Okay, now this year, April gone, let me just go back a bit. I'm the founder of the Fibroids, Hysterectomy and Beyond annual conference. That's something I felt really strongly that we needed to do on the back of comments and people feeding back to me when I launched my book, when I published my book, The Hysterectomy Chronicles. I had individuals coming to me, texting me, phoning me. Those who actually attended the launch said, we want something more. We want something more. So I was laying in my bed and this vision came to me that we need to have a conference because we don't talk about it. We don't talk about fibroids. We don't talk about hysterectomy. In fact, we don't talk very much about much gynae stuff. Menopause now, we're talking about. Menopause is out the gate. Menopause, I always use this analogy. Menopause is out the gate and running down the road naked, shouting, hey, I'm here, guys. You can talk about me in the boardroom. We can talk about menopause now, which is fantastic. Yeah. But 80% of Black women that look like me, 80% of us will experience fibroids by the time we get to 50, the age 50.
Sorry, what was that percentage?
Statistics. 80% of us, people that look like me, will go on to develop fibroids in their lifetime by the age of 50.
Wow.
Now, that is a staggering figure. So, and it seemed, because when I first started to research and when I wrote my book and went through my own journey, I never had practically every other friend say, oh, yeah, I've got fibroids. But it just seems to be, as the years have gone on, it just seems to have grown and mushroomed. So Sunday coming, for those individuals who couldn't attend the in-person conference that was held on the 1st of April this year, there's going to be an online webinar where you can bring your questions. We're going to have a panel of experts, and we're just putting the final touches on it for Sunday. And you need to sign up on Eventbrite. It is a free event, and come along. You may just want to come along to listen. That's fine. But you'll hear about menopause. You'll hear about nutrition and heavy bleeding. You'll hear about hysterectomy and some of the advances and some of the things that weren't in place when I had mine over 10 years ago. And the event is not just for women. It is for men as well. So
they need to know, don't they?
Exactly.
When I say to look,
exactly. They are
It's
the
like,
husbands.
yeah, it's like what you yeah, we keep crossing over. Yeah, it's like, well, what are you talking about? And I'm like, some of the things that I'm going through, I don't even understand. I'm being honest. I don't understand. So then how can you imagine stuff that you don't even understand, but you're then trying to explain that to somebody who hasn't got a clue. But whereas, like, do you know what, when they start hearing some of the stuff that's spoken about, it's like, okay.
Yeah. And some of the questions you might have. So, for
Yeah.
instance, there may be individuals listening tonight who have had a hysterectomy or experiencing fibroids right now, under investigation for fibroids, and all the processes, all the procedures that that the medical profession will put you through, so that they can find, so that they can diagnose you. Then once you're diagnosed, it's, well, how are we going to deal with it? Is it something that can be left? Does it need surgery? Does it need, what type of, if it does need surgery, what type of surgery? So there's so many questions. And then after you've had your hysterectomy, come on, because we never talked, because we didn't really speak about it. So I often wondered when I had mine, I wonder if my scar looks like someone else's. Mine feels like tiny bit of like a bit of rope going across my just above my pubic area. And I'm thinking, well, I wonder how does everybody get cut the same length, and I've come to understand that some people get cut vertically, but I was cut honestly, and there's different types of hysterectomy. So Sunday, if you've got questions, queries, come along, sign up, come along and interact. Come along, listen, participate, share, because for some women they may have never had an opportunity to share. And it's a secret almost.
Yeah.
Sometimes we whisper, and we hear things like, oh yeah, she had it all taken out, or yeah, she had something wrong below. So sometimes even the language we use it's shrouded in taboo. So we need to talk. We need to find out, well, if I don't talk to another person that's had it, how am I going to know whether we had equitable treatment? Whether I was treated in the same way, whether my outcome was the expected outcome, was I treated less than? I mean, come on, there's health inequalities. Right now, as we speak, there are health inequalities that the experts are trying to unravel.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to talk.
Who have we got? Who is going to be there on Sunday?
We're hoping everything going well. We're hoping to have a surgeon with us. We're hoping a surgeon called Dr. Loretta Ogboro, who attended and spoke. She participated and input into the conference in April. Absolutely phenomenal knowledge and her own personal experience. This is the icing on the cake. Here's a surgeon, a obstetric gynae surgeon, who has her own experience of what we're talking about. Right?
Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. So so we're hoping that she'll be on board as well on Sunday. It's virtual, so you don't have to travel anywhere. Get your nice shoes out. Then we've got Ruth Harrison Swift, who is a menopause and NLP expert or specialist. So she'll be there. You can ask her questions about menopause, and I suppose it's just raising awareness about how we feel, the mental health aspect of it, the whole spectrum. Then we have Haley Down. Haley Down is a hormonal nutritionist specialist. So she'll be talking about heavy bleeding, also known as menorrhagia, and nutrition, and some of the things you can do, and some of the tests that you can undergo to support yourself and to help you. So it's going to be incredible. There's going to be a wealth of information. So I would say, if you want to know, if you know someone, if you yourself can't attend, it's 6 o'clock till 8 this coming Sunday, British time. Yes. So I don't know all the international clocks, but I know it's 6 till 8 Greenwich Mean Time, or is it BST? Do they say now? Yes. So
I'm not sure, but they get it and they can work it out.
Yeah. So just check your time frames or your time. I don't know what you call it. International time monitor. I don't know what it is, but you need to check something just to ensure you have the right time to join. All right. So just quickly. So just in a nutshell. So lack of dialogue, lack of open dialogue about these issues. And in the UK, over 39,000 hysterectomies were performed between 2019 and 2020. I'm gathering I'm trying to get up to date stats now, and I'm trying to get some ethnicity data as well. And the primary cause for most of these, fibroids.
Wow.
All right. So we need to talk. We need to have safe spaces where we can come and discuss, talk, share, and support. Because do you know where to go for support? There are some online groups now that you can access for support, for peer support. Because there's some individuals who are going through some of this stuff, and they're all on their own. They come home after their surgery. They don't have anyone to take care of them. They don't. You know, we need the sisterhood. We need the men also. We need the men on board, families. We need everybody to know something about what we're going through, so we can get the adequate support.
Veronica Ebanks, thank you.
You're
You are
welcome.
incredible, absolutely
You're
incredible.
welcome.
Where is my producer Shelley? Do I have any guests hanging in the wings? Don't know, she might have fallen asleep. Oh no. It's like a genie, isn't it? It's like Shelley. A genie. No. She has got to.
No, not Shelley. She wouldn't.
I'm just checking because depending on whether I've got guests waiting in the wings, because I do believe I've got Ormond.
Oh, right. Okay.
Coming on to share about, because that's starting on Sunday as well. That's opening up.
Right. Yes.
Shell?
I need to hot foot over there. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, Clayton. Hi, Clayton Stevens. Hello.
No way, Clayton Stevens.
Hi.
Are you that? This young man, his daughter's going to be coming on shortly, Kirsten, who's been on the show before, but he actually sang at our wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nice. He sang at our wedding. Absolutely amazing. Ooh. By the way, Clayton, that was last week, 15 years ago. No way. Yes way. 15 years ago, you sang at our wedding, darling. 15 years ago. Do you know what? I'm sure if there's somebody else, Shelley would have brought them on.
Okay, I can stay with you until they come, or you can throw me out.
I want to say, no, I ain't throwing you out yet. Reason being is because Shell, hopefully she will be coming back on. I know you're proud, Clayton. I'll stop it. Yeah, we have got. Hello, Jeannie. This is a genie. Have I got any more guests?
No, you haven't. I didn't want to say no.
Before you got to answer, you just disappeared. So we're like, don't know. If that's the case, then sorry, Shell, we didn't see you. If that's the case, Shell, what I want to do is, because throughout the show and everything like that, just letting the masses know, I'm going to bring you on shortly. Kirsten's not coming on till after 8 anyway. So at the minute now, I'd love for you, if possible, can you play the little video clip for the screening that it's a Real Talk with Simply Deez special. Yes. It's a little, whatever you want to call it. And it's called The Barrel Children. And it's going to be screened on the 12th of October at the Hat Factory. So this is just a little trailer. And we are shouting out to everybody who's out there, please, please, please. I don't know, it went on sale late yesterday and there was 21 tickets sold. That was just yesterday. So I don't know what those numbers are. I won't know till tomorrow. When you sort of say I'll buy them Thursday, which people have said to me, please do not ask me if it says they're sold out. Guess what? What do you reckon, V? They're sold out, right? Even I
I've
can't
got
magic
mine.
chairs.
I've got mine.
Yes, and you'll find out the reason why. Are you ready, Shell? You tell me when
Yes,
you're ready.
trying to find it, and I shall share it now. Hang on.
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Please, guys, take note and please share, 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 share. So important we talk about this. So I want you to stay there, V, because I want you to come back and we're going to have a chat.
You will have heard of the Windrush generation, the thousands of people who travelled from Caribbean countries to Britain after the Second World War to help rebuild the so-called mother country.
So the concept and the idea of going to England was for a better life. They were going to go to England, get these jobs that were available. They had this vision that they'd be able to make a living, get money and then go back home and have a better lifestyle. The reality is that that's not what happened.
But you may not know as much about the experiences of the children who were left behind. Known as barrel children, they grew up with extended family members, and in many cases only knew of their parents through anecdotal accounts and the care packages sent back in the form of parcels and barrels.
And my grandparents always said, remember, your mother is in England. Your mother is in England.
This is their story.
Everybody knows when you're getting a barrel, because everybody knows Christmas comes, she's going to have her barrel. Everybody comes to visit. So things in the barrel, rice in the barrel, sugar in the barrel, flour in the barrel, soap, and then she could share out. So everybody would get a bit of this and, a bit of that. So the barrels were practical. They weren't frivolous.
Follow me, Nadine White, as I speak with those who were the sons and daughters of the first wave of Windrush migrants about their experiences of growing up away from their parents. They discuss how they dealt with being sent for to join their mothers and fathers in England and having to leave behind all that they knew for a land unknown.
And I never forget when I came off that plane and my sister said, "There's your mom." I said, "I don't know who's this woman. I don't know. I didn't know." And my mother cried.
We only had photographs of Jamaica. We didn't have any photographs when she came here. So the person we saw in that photograph wasn't the person that was there.
I met this woman who I have not seen for 14 years or 14 and a half years, whatever.
Wow.
I've never said mother to anyone. I've never said mom to anyone.
The British Empire has created a trail of broken black families across generations who have had to reconcile with displacement and loss. From the Windrush era, where parents and grandparents were separated from their young ones, while greater economic prospects were sought in the country that once colonized theirs, to slavery, where enslaved black people lived with the constant possibility of separation, and family members were bought, sold, and ripped apart at auction blocks. The emotional cost has been high.
And our trauma goes right back to slavery. It's ingrained in us, and it's ingrained in the mother who lose their children. They may not tell you, and you see them looking as if life is, but that is still there, just as it was in slavery when they dragged a child away from the mother. Doesn't mean the mother forgot that child.
This is the painful legacy of Windrush.
Wow. Yeah, it is one of them that you're kind of like, and as much as we know some things from the clips that I've seen, I've not seen the whole thing, and to be honest, I don't want to watch it until, just like everybody, well, the majority of people get to see it on the 12th. We're very fortunate to have Nadine White, who has put this documentary together, and after the screening we're going to do a Q&A with her. So those attending, get yourselves down there, because you're going to be able to ask directly. I'm also shouting out to those that perhaps would describe themselves as a barrel child, and we've had this discussion, Veronica. V, would you describe yourself?
I'm definitely I have definitely been impacted by the migration of our seniors, I suppose you'd call first generation, to the UK, because I was a child born after
my grandmother came to England, leaving my mother, my birth mother, and her two siblings back in the Caribbean, and then sending for the two young ones to come here. But because my mum was pregnant with me, she wasn't brought. So consequences all around. I mean, it was a devastation. My gran came to the UK to marry someone. She got a marriage proposal and came up to join him. But the children, there was definitely consequences, because my mother was, let's just say, one of the kids that was left behind. But unfortunately, there was no barrel coming from him.
Wow.
There was no barrel.
This is why the more we talk, the more we find out. And I think this conversation is a difficult conversation for some, because we did talk about it, didn't we, Shell, earlier on today on the Simply Together show. And I know words like abandonment. I know, as in, like, you as a child are coming over to an already made family. They've had years together, say like the siblings and things like that, and now this is your brother, this is your sister, this is your
family members.
We don't know them. You know, and so we're gonna have, as well as Nadine having and having that time to do a Q&A, we're also going to speak to some of those that have actually been through. I'd love for you, I know you're going to be there anyway, V, on the night, and share some things also as well, which I think, did you say before that you were thinking about starting up some sort of, or did I imagine that?
No, you didn't imagine it. What I'd hoped to do, but other projects have kind of how can I put it, superseded or taken priority over that one.
Of course.
But the aspect of individuals who were sent for or sent to England in the care of the airlines, because a lot of children came to the UK in the care of the airlines. Now, I was only 2 when I came in the care of the airline.
Wow.
So it raises questions. I asked myself, well, obviously
oh my gosh,
the air hostesses, as they were called then on the BOAC, would have had to toilet me, would have had to feed me. Who did I sit with? Did I sit with did I actually sit with the air hostess? I'm assuming I did. Did I sit with a stranger? You know, I have all these questions, but obviously difficult to get answers, because me being so young, I don't have memory. I don't have any memories of that flight.
Yeah.
1963. I don't have any memories of that flight, but I was 2. And I just think, imagine putting a 2-year-old in the hands of a stranger to fly how many thousands of miles because BOAC, I think it had only been formed in the late 50s to start doing transatlantic flights. I mean, I contacted British Airways, who BOAC eventually became British Airways through whatever. And I asked them about passenger lists and data. They said they didn't keep any data. They didn't keep any passenger data at all. Because there's me thinking, great, I can go to the airline, I can get some information about my flight, names of people. Who knows, they may still be alive in their 80s, maybe, I'm guessing. But there was nothing. So there's no records. Well, they say there's no records. So yeah, and it wasn't just me. I mean, there's lots of other people that I know who came in the care of the airline, whether they be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. They came a lot. They flew alone. So that's another angle. You know, there's another aspect of it. And then for some of us, we were in quotes adopted by family members.
That's big,
right? And you know, I know I laugh sometimes because I know people say, how can you laugh at something like that? But I just think Oh, what an oxymoron. At the age of 50 plus, it dawns on me that I was a person who'd been unconventionally adopted. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. So you're in the masses with the adopted because it was informal. There was never any paperwork. There was never any plan to reunite you with your birth mother. I was never, there was no, it wasn't official then. I was sent to a grand aunt to be raised. And I was raised, the grand aunt raised me as her child, and I was calling her mom because for 18 years, I believe she was my mother.
Every time you tell me this, and when you talk about it now, does it open up wounds when you talk about it now? Or are you kind of at a place where...
Every now and again, you get some triggers. Sometimes I do get triggers, especially, I tell you where I'm triggered the most is when I see individuals or women with their dads. I never ever had that. I wasn't grown with a male father figure in the home that I was raised in. This lady raised me, this family member raised me, but there was never ever a man in the home. She was married, but I think he'd gone or something, whatever. And so it was just us. And for 18 years, the person I'm calling mom or mummy.
Wasn't your mum, yeah.
Wasn't my mummy. And the person who I thought was my auntie wasn't my auntie. And the two people I thought were my cousins weren't my cousins. Right? So it was just secrets and lies and a lot of that. And there's a lot of pain. There is a lot of pain. I've gone through a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. I've gone through a lot of inner work. And I believe that my faith has played a big role in helping me to get to where I am today. And also, I suppose, meeting someone quite young and getting married quite young and start having a family of my own. I think that was part of my salvation. That was part of it. But yeah, it's painful. It is painful. And sometimes especially if you're down in the dumps over something else, and then you look across there, you see someone. Yeah. You see, and I look at my sons with their how they react with their daughters, and and as a mom, and then when I had my hysterectomy, when I went through my gynae journey, there were times I cried into my pillow, and I said, I wished I had a mom. Right now, I needed a mom. At that stage, I felt I needed a mom, and I cried.
And how old were you?
When I came to Britain.
No. When you had the hysterectomy,
I'd already had my kids. So we're talking about just over 10 years, maybe 12 years. And I need to get the dates. About 12 years ago. So I would have been, I would have been 40 something.
So the reason I say that, V, is purely for those people out there that are thinking like, well, certain things you're not going to feel, or we've got everything on a lock at a certain age. You still are carrying some form of pain.
You carry a scar. In fact, I was 50. Yep. I think I was 50 when I had a hysterectomy. I was 50. From 60 plus now. You do carry a kind of scar, but the pain it's not as acute. The pain isn't as acute. And sometimes sometimes you completely forget about it, and then something will bring it back.
Will happen, and it will.
But I'm not unhappy. I'm not an unhappy person.
No.
And I don't dwell on it. I don't dwell on the negatives. Because obviously I'm supporting other people, and I'm saying to them, we need to look at the positives, right? But every now and again, you sum everything up and you think, right, okay, so that was part of my life journey, and I can use that to support others. So I can use it as almost like reference tools to support other people, and in a roundabout way, that's what I have done in a lot of the jobs, a lot of the work that I've done, working with troubled youth, working with, I don't know, keeping people safe with the food they eat. When I first started out working in the labs and the bloods in the path, doing bloods and stuff, it's just self-awareness is good. Self-awareness is very valuable. And I suppose it ties in with mindfulness and honesty. So why am I like, why do I exhibit certain traits? Why is it that you're so, you never ever wanted to do a resit exam? I have to pass it first time, because I was always told I'd amount to nothing. I would amount to nothing. Why, why did that always have to be just so?
So
Because
do you think that is that perfectionism? Are we talking, do you think?
in some cases, yes.
Kind of ish.
In some instances, yeah. Because I was told I'd be nothing. And in that pronouncement over me was because of my mom getting pregnant or having me so young as a young mom.
Wow.
So I'd hear the adult conversation, but didn't realize who they were talking about. But it was my mom. You're going to turn out, you're sitting between the knees. You know, those days when children had their hair plaited.
Oh, Jesus. I can still feel it now. Yank, yank, yank.
Right.
What you crying for? Whack.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real sharp little. They're quite quick, aren't they?
I tell you, yeah,
they're quite quick.
But anyway,
V, I've got my next guest waiting in the wings. My mum is going to be coming along on the 12th of October, so this is for all ages. Yeah, we're getting to screen it in October as well. The whole there's so much going on, but please, if you can, the details are on there. Please do not be asking me for tickets. You could be my best mate. I'm telling you now, get on there and book your ticket. I cannot save anything for anybody apart from my mother. That's it. V, thank you so much, darling. Obviously, I'll see you on Sunday, and we'll catch up then. All right, thank you, darling. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Woo, where's that producer? Ah. Hello.
Hello.
Wow. Wow. It's dark outside. Might not seen it, but it's getting a little bit dark out here now. So I'm just going to take myself inside. I know I have got my next guest waiting in the wings who I don't even know him. But you know what I'm like, everybody. If you want to get to know someone, you get them on your show. So this young man.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's like I just pick him up. And he was with his partner. I bet she thought, who's that old bird trying to hit on my partner? And I'm like, honestly. Greetings, young man. Greetings.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. It's dark. I thought it was dark where I am. I'm outside, but it's dark where you are.
Yeah, I know. This is probably the most quiet. We
can't see you.
You can't see me, for real?
No, seriously. You know, I mean, I know you. Don't get me wrong. I know you're dark, proper dark. Don't know if you've got Facebook and that, but you're dark. Dark, and I can just about see you. So I'm literally. Everyone's thinking like, well, what's she doing? And why is she moving around? That's because I'm inside now, guys. I was outside enjoying the weather, and now I'm inside.
This any better? No, not really, is it?
No, to be honest. No, I don't know why, but shall I tell you what? Let's roll. So everyone's going like, who's that she got on the show? You'll understand when I said this show is you're not coming on for no interview. You'll be like, but she is. I'm not going to interview you. We're going to have a chat. We're going to have a conversation. The masses out there. Now, you've got a job to do, if I can tell you. Do you know what your job is? We are beaming out on our Facebook page, which is Simply Deez Events, the radio station that we link to. They support us and sponsor us. That's Pam Tango Radio. We are also out on YouTube. Now, my producer, who was a lady that was just on, has said we are at 999,000 viewers.
Okay, wow.
Now, yeah, your job, no pressure, is to take us over and into the million marker.
Ooh.
Yeah, no pressure.
That's a job for
No, it's not. It's not at all. Okay, so I've just said to the listeners out there and those that are watching, you will hear me keep saying all the time is to share. Reason being, the show is not topical. It's like, this is what we're going to discuss this week. We're going to discuss something else. It can be anything and everything. And were you listening to some of what we were just talking about? As in the barrel children?
I heard.
Were you listening? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm just going to be screening. We're going to be screening on the 12th of October at the Hat Factory. And that's part of what the young lady Veronica was speaking about as well. Now, the masses out there, I went along to the Bear Club last week. Soul Food Poetry. Give it up for MP, Yam Fam. And that's it. And this is where I met you.
What a night it was.
It was. So those people that know me already know what I do. And the producer, she'll come on any minute now and say she feels sorry for you. Because once you think I'm jesting, I swear, she'll come on and say she feels sorry for you, or those people will start putting in the chat, oh my gosh, that's it. Because once I kind of get my claws, well, not really, but get my claws in, that's it. I did tell you and your partner that in my head's turning. It's like, right, who can I kind of connect these guys to? Who can what can they get involved in and all that sort of stuff? So we didn't really get a chance to talk. It was a busy night. So what I want to do, this is my show, by the way, in case you didn't know, it's my show. So I don't have a real clock. I've got more guests coming on, but we got time. So Kirsten, if you're there, sit tight, sweetie. We gonna talk. But I just really want to hear from you. And I'm not going to apologise if I kind of like put my hand up if I've got a question. And those people in the chat, please ask your questions. I don't know, because this guy might try and scarp her. We might not get a hold of him again. So just tell us a little bit, not a little bit, but yeah, just tell us about yourself. Just kind of your background. You're not where you are just by chance. Everybody's got a journey. And as soon as you start saying something, what I do, and the producer will tell you, I'm like, people are like an onion, and I'm going to ask you to peel back. And then you think you've peeled back, and I'm saying, nah, peel it back. So I need to start with, I don't know, where were you born? How was school? That's how far I want to peel it back.
Okay, all right. Well, so I was born in Nigeria. So my dad is Nigerian. My mum is Jamaican. They both met in England. Then they went back, got married, went back to Nigeria. I had myself and my three other siblings. So I'm the youngest. I'm the baby, if you can tell. But yeah, so born in Nigeria. I'm Igbo. I'm from the Igbo tribe. And funnily enough, I think I only really stayed there for about six odd months, and then came back to the UK. And yeah, haven't been back since, unfortunately. But I've got plans to touch back in the motherland for myself and for my kids as well. So, but yeah, growing up was always I was my grandfather's favorite grandchild. He would explicitly say that to everyone.
he told them.
I swear,
now,
yeah.
that's kind of some of the stuff we're talking about now. It's like some people say like you're not supposed to show favoritism, but some can't help themselves and they do show favoritism. So how did your siblings, because obviously if he's saying it, how did your siblings think? They must have just needled you, given you that little punch, that little...
I don't know. I think they were no. They were cool. I think they were right. I mean, you know, like my sister was like, you know, was like daddy's girl. So, you know, my sister always kind of confided in my pups. My brother was more of like mummy's boy. So do you know what I mean? So I think for me, you know, even like having being under my granddad's wing almost it was just like second nature, I guess, because that's just all I really knew. For everyone else.
So this is in the UK. This is in the UK, yeah.
Yeah. So my grandparents, they're Caribbean, but yeah, they were living here for a good amount of time before they went back to retire and live in Jamaica again. But yeah, this was over here, and yeah, man, it was for me. I'm not gonna lie. I think I felt a little bit awkward, even at those young ages. It's crazy to even say that, but I think thinking about it now, I did have a certain feeling about oh, how is everyone else kind of feeling about how much attention I'm getting from my granddad, you know, how my other cousins, you know, and there'll always be comments, not like bad comments, but just like, you know, jovial comments or just comments in general of even like my aunties and uncles or whatever, just like, oh, he's blatantly, you know, granddad's favorite, this, that, and the other. And yeah, my granddad would definitely co-sign that. So that's just how it really was, really. But you know,
so how was school for you?
So yeah, moving on to school. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed school. I was quite active young boy. So really liked moving about. You know, I think kind of now I've had a lot of experience working with young people, with especially black boys in schools and PRUs and in prisons. And I think, like, thinking back to my experience when I was young, the whole thing of, oh, you know, you should be sitting still. Why aren't you sitting still? You know, all that. It just kind of makes me think that we aren't meant to sit still. You know, we aren't meant to fit into this really tight model that you know that the status quo wants us to. You know, us being black young men, especially, you know what I mean, black young boys. So but anyway, my experience yeah, was quite happy-go-lucky, you know, really just enjoyed. Yeah,
you enjoyed school.
I mean, I enjoyed the social aspect. The social.
What do you mean? That's a sports and that outside of school?
Like, you know, like PE and just, you know, cracking jokes in when we shouldn't be talking, like in class or whatever. And I didn't really take school too serious. Do you know what I mean? But one thing, even thinking back now, that I really did take from it is that social aspect and how to you know, deal with conflict resolution, for example, or different issues, or how to make friends, you know, how to really say how you feel. So those were very important tools that I took from being in school, especially secondary school.
I know secondary school is challenging anyway, but there is statistically, I don't know what the stats are, but you're talking about primary school to high school, the change.
Yeah.
Especially for young black boys, is you're talking from doing really well to somehow that transition to high school. What, I don't know what happens exactly, but it switches.
Right. Yeah, because, you know, if things just get much more real, you know, in terms of you're growing up, you're going into pre-teens, you know, just year 7. That transition from year 6, like you said, year 6 to year 7, is very important. And I think a lot of, even with me, I didn't really, it was just jumping from year 6 to year 7, that there was no kind of prep from my parents, and I guess, you know, to a certain extent, they, I guess, didn't really know.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But even looking at some of the work that I do now, in
Exactly.
bridging like that, is so important. Do you know what I mean? Even a simple thing like going into the school that you're going to in year 6, and having speaking to some of the older kids, in that secondary school, or having some sort of contact with the teachers or whatever, it's so important. You know what I mean? And letting the year 6s or whatever have those open dialogues with, just saying how they feel, things like that is very important. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're understanding now the importance of a lot of focus is on sort of like, say, the 11 to 25s. We've just done a youth event and it was the 11 to 25s. So that's like high school up.
How did it go? Nice.
I'll share pictures and all sorts of bits and pieces. Yeah, it went really well. Thank you. But in terms of sort of like certain things need to be covered in the primary, and there's organisations, etc., like that need to be in primary school doing the work. What we're doing is waiting till the kids get into high school, but by then you're too late.
Yeah.
Am I right? Not. I'm not saying across the board in every case, but I'm just saying a lot of times, if there was earlier kind of like organisations going in and talking, because there's just so much out there, so much.
Yeah, I mean, I would never say it's too late, but I would say that there's a lot more to repair, and there's a lot more to really bear in mind. The older I would say, like the older certain individuals get, the more complex some of their needs can be if it's not dealt with when it should be. So unfortunately, unfortunately, not a lot of young people get that opportunity to really access that. I certainly didn't. And I remember even there was a few students, few peers in my year that really needed that, but they were just looked at as a troublesome ones, the ones that would just get excluded week after week after week, for things that they didn't even understand, or they didn't even feel that they were being explained to why they are being treated the way that they are. Things like that are so important.
So for me, it's a case of like schooling. What's really changed over the years, apart from obviously everything's now, they've got the devices, the computers, the phone, all that sort of stuff. In terms of sort of like educating, so I think we've discovered that all children do not learn the same. I'm going to come off in just a second because I think my do not learn the same. I'm going to log onto my PC any second. So if I disappear, I'm going to come back on there. Shell, I'm just warning you now. How is it we're still teaching the same? We're still teaching the same way. We're expecting, I don't know, you've got a classroom of 30 kids. They do not all learn the same.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So when you're kind of like, if you're in a class and I don't know, maybe you're mischievous or something like that, don't get me wrong, you could be just a mischievous child, or do you know what? It is boring. You don't learn that way. You maybe learn a different style of way, but we're still teaching predominantly the same. And so with that, then it just seems to be a cycle that we don't seem to be learning from. And then I'm sure I should do. And the law in terms of exclusions, because I think schools now, they shouldn't be excluding like they used to, because it was kind of like, was it kind of going out of fashion? That right, okay. So when you exclude a child, what happens to that child? So, what do you expect to happen to that child?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we have to factor in is that there's academies being brought in now, and they've been brought in for the past, I don't know, 10 or even a bit more years. I think what that now means is that there's academies, they don't really have to abide by like the local authorities way of
They
doing
have
things.
their own rules. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, basically. So there you'll kind of find a lot of kids being treated very different to how other kids, you know, similar to them will be treated in other schools, and that's because some are in state schools or some are in what do you call it? What's the name gone out of my head? Yeah, just different type of schools. So basically, yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know the whole reason. But again, I think predominantly and unfortunately, it's backed by a lot of prejudice. Because you know you've got head teachers that are working in inner city schools that don't really know much about how you know a lot of the young people in London kind of move. What you know, how everyone's going to be different. The groups of different young people are going to be different. Do you know what I mean? So I think there should be a level of investment in the kids that the teachers have to have. And again, you know, like someone just posted, PRU, people referral units. You know, those are where a lot of the permanently excluded kids go, and that's a whole different ball game. Like in terms of you know just the day-to-day run-ins. Like I was thinking about this the other day because I do a lot of work in PRUs, and I'll give an example. Like the norm of communication is a lot of effing and blinding, but that's just normal. Whereas mainstream, you would get kicked out immediately for that. Do you know what I mean? So there's a level, there's bars are being set, you know, at different levels for the different needs of young people. But I don't know how much willingness a lot of PRUs, people referral units, have to reintegrate a lot of these young people, you know, because at the end of the day, it's all about money, man. We have to be honest. Do you know what I mean?
So real talk, Nathan. So I want you to. So just because you're saying what you're saying doesn't mean everybody out there we're expecting.
Understand. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I want you to talk your truth.
Yeah.
Not like, oh well, that's maybe not politically correct. I don't want people cussing on my show, but apart from that, do you know what? I need it to be real.
Yeah.
It has to be real. If it's not real and it's like, oh, it's scripted and like me and you have had a conversation, you know what I'm going to say, I know what you're going to say. As somebody watching it, I'll be like, start watching paint dry. But as it is, I've got no idea what you're going to say. And I'm like, kind of like, whoa, okay. And yeah. So we talked schooling, haven't we? We talked schooling. So you finished school.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Did you finish school? We're talking about it. I don't know. You could have got kicked out for all I know.
No, I would listen. My dad would not have that, boy.
So I hear that. So we still do that.
Yeah. So finish.
Veronica, can I just sort of say, because Veronica posted something I think very important. Sometimes the young people don't actually want to go back into mainstream after finding themselves.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And their abilities after the PRU.
Yeah, definitely. And it's because I feel like I think that there's plenty of reasons why, but some reasons that I've spoken to young people about, and they've told me, like, you know, I like it in the PRU. Like, it's much more relaxed. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to, you know, be, again, like I was saying before, having to fit into some sort of a mold in mainstream school. I can be myself a bit more. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to use a lot of the language. I mean, I don't have to be shut down on what language I can use. I can be effing and blinding. I can be saying this, doing that. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of them feel like there's a lot more freedom in PRUs. And to be fair, there is, in terms of, you know, how the curriculum is much more fluid in a lot of PRUs, you know, especially the ones that I've worked in, and that's because the needs of the young people there aren't the needs of the ones in mainstream. It's much more complex, so therefore it needs to be molded around them a lot more a lot easier. Do you know what I mean? So
so you're talking I'm talking about my son, the eldest, Jordan, and probably about 17 years ago now, and he was kicked out of school. Good old Leland's. And he was kicked out. And bearing in mind at that time, I was actually a governor, deliberately placed myself as a governor at that school, deliberately placed myself on the disciplinary committee, and got a situation. I obviously couldn't be anywhere near this because it's my own child. And he got kicked out. So for 3-4 months, he wasn't actually in school.
Wow.
Remember what I said 16, 17 years ago?
Yeah.
And so the education emailing me, and I'm kind of like, I'm mad. I'm mad. As a parent, I'm mad. My child, you keep telling me my child can't be off school, but now you've kicked him out of school, and that's okay. It wasn't adding up, right? To me, it wasn't adding up. Then it was a case of like, right, you can go to, I don't know what they were called then, but I suppose it was like a pupil referral unit. Go to wherever it is. So I've gone to this place. I weren't doing any of the stuff that I was doing now. And so involved that, you know more. Gone to this place now with him, and we've walked in through the main door, and right in the sort of like corridor, the main was a pool table. Can you imagine my face? I'm like, pool table. Then he's like, show me round, and he's like, yeah. He goes, he might get 2 GCSEs, possibly 3. Now, this is a child that was doing 11 GCSEs. Now, these children are not stupid, are far from stupid. But what we're going to do now is potentially place him in an environment where you've gone from 11, and I'm not talking low grades, 11, you know, A's, B's, to an environment where potentially I walk in, there's a pool table, and you might do 3 GCSEs. And, oh, yeah, by the way, some of the kids are tagged. And I'll see you Monday. And he walked off. I walked out, bawling. I weren't crying. I was bawling. I phoned my mum. I'm like, Mum, it's awful.
Yeah.
For me, I can only talk, and that's why the show's real. I can only talk for me. For me, I just visualize where my child was heading if I sent him there. So I sent an email, got home, sent the email. You ain't seeing him Monday. You ain't seeing him Monday. He's going back to mainstream. That's where he's going. And he did. So bearing in mind, he's missed 4 months of year 10. Critical time, right?
Yeah.
Critical time. Gone into year 11 and somehow still came out with 9 GCSEs, 2 A stars. So, yeah. Sometimes as parents, we need to listen more to our young people. We say we're listening. Are we truly listening? These are questions. We say we're listening, but we're all busy. Hey, life's busy now. As parents, you're working, you're trying to do this, put food on the table, whatever, and the time, John or whoever comes home and that, it's a case of like, right, I ain't got time. You need to sort that.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's so hard.
It is.
You know, and you just have to try your best. I don't regret any of that. I think we'd be telling a different tale if, for me, I went down that route with him.
Yeah. But that just shows your level of investment in your kids, in your son. Do you know what I mean? So, and unfortunately, there's not
I'll
a
make
lot.
sure I connect you. at some stage, because I've just already thought of something that I would like you to be a part of. Shelley, make a note. Hopefully Native's not listening. Our international men's event in November. I'm securing the date any day now, and we'll get him involved. Involved. So this, International Women's Day, everyone knows it. All the guys even know about International Women's Day. So woo, we got to do all of that for the women. But what about you guys?
Yeah.
So International Men's, I've not made it up. 19th of November is officially International Men's Day. So for the past, I think we're going into the 7th or 8th year now, we have put on an International Men's event.
Amazing.
And International Women's Day, the women do all the talking, and the guys, do you know what I mean, are supposed to do that. This is where we have to flip it. We have to invest in you. We have to show that investment. It can't be one-sided, which is how it is. Hang on a minute, dear. You're not a woman. Yes, but I'm just saying. We give all of that. You're expected to give that to us. Why do we not do the same in return for the guys? And a lot of problems and things that we have now, you can't tell me that they do not see the difference.
Yeah.
As in,
we need that balance. Definitely, we need that balance.
Of course,
we
expect so much from you guys, and then. So don't get me wrong, because there's women out there. D. Bailey, what you saying? Yeah, V said it's a fantastic initiative. And there isn't, do you know what? This has been going for, I don't know, I think it's since the 80s, International Men, and a handful of people literally know about it. It's like, you're making it up. And I'm like, I'm not. Go and check it out. Why do we not celebrate the men? We celebrate the women, but we don't celebrate the men. But we know about the day, but we still ain't going to celebrate the men. So that's what the day's about. There's all sorts of topics spoken about. And I definitely want you involved. See, I'm guessing. That's because I'm just so excited, because I'm going like, oh, bless you didn't realise. Where's that missus? Is she still putting the kids to bed?
Yeah, no, they're catching Z's already, man. They're
Oh, is it? So where is she?
Oh, she's relaxing, man. This is her time to chill. So,
okay. I just wanted her to come on and say hi, because I'm going to get her. Yeah, she don't know it yet, but we going to get her doing something. She's like, oh, no. She does spoken word. Look, you're going to come back on again. Shelley, can you tell me, do I have my next guest waiting? Because if not, I can carry on talking. If I do, then I'm going to. But there's no way I can have you on the show, Native, without people thinking like, she said he was at Soul Food Poetry, but what was he dropping? What did he drop?
We hadn't even spoken about
it. Doesn't mean you've got to do the same one, but let me just go to my little bookshelf behind me.
Wow.
See, I don't just talk things, guys. Look at this. Because the young man probably hasn't got it. He's thinking like, I'm not supposed to promote. This is why you're on the show.
Promote away, man. Promote away. I love it.
And look, we get it signed too.
Yeah, I'm left-handed, so the right.
Amazon. I don't know. We'll see if we can get him to be selling and actually sending them out himself, so he gets the money as opposed to Amazon. But it would be really nice. The book is called Points of Contact. Am I right?
100%. Yep.
And I can't even say what's your first name?
Ehirame.
Sorry?
Ehirame.
Ehiram.
Ehirame.
Oh, gosh. Ehirame. Why are you laughing? Ehirame Native Umwaka.
Umwaka.
That's
Yeah.
what I said.
Yeah, you went around the houses. You got there in the end.
No, unfortunately not. Shelley, the producer, thinks she's funny. Did I give you a copy of our book? I didn't actually take our books on the day, but because he was performing, and I'm like, you got a book? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I want one of them.
Yeah.
So, this is a wicked book. There's a little bit about the author at the back. That's here, guys. So do you want to sort of like, it's only right, because afterwards I'm actually going to go to my niece, Tishi, and she's written think she sent me 3, but I've got to pick one. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. But Shelley's going to pick it. But can you drop us a few so that people are going like, okay, you never know. This is how bookings come along, Nate. This is how all of this happens. We're getting you out there. Remember, we are beaming globally to the masses.
100%. All right. Let's see what I got.
All right. Let's see what he's going to drop for us tonight. Tell us a style of
A style of what?
You got one, or are you still looking?
No, I got one. This one isn't in the book though. This one isn't new.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. Even better. That way then they're going like, oh, there's even more in the book.
Cool. All right. Let's do this. Cool. So yeah, this piece I wrote, it's called The Break-In. I'll explain a little bit after because it will kind of give it away. They scoped around looking for their designated base they'll invade, methodically assessing the situation at hand. A home was decided on. Preparation was key to execute this grand plan. The exterior grooves, designs, and colors were mouth-watering. Feeling very confident that they had picked the best out of the local area. The window in which this could be done was closing, and limited edition meant that this was the only time that the opportunity was available. Haste and finesse were enemies. The ability to make knee-jerk decisions was daunting, but it had to be done. They peeked through the only hole wide enough to see the interior. It was fancy, untouched, perfect. So, as you do, they inserted themselves into it, 2 parallel spaces that were very fitting for these foreign inhabitants. On the other side, walking around, visualizing themselves as the owners of this investment via mirrors. The decision was made. The space was theirs. The honeymoon period in reverse. The worst was yet to come. Painful regret, annoying agony, and minimal movement were the titles of the next coming days, even weeks. The space felt packed, and the pair were grumpy. But they persevered, as they were in it for the long game. The repetitive days had come to an end, and to their surprise, the break-in period was over. They could walk freely, comfortably, and fashionably into the sunset in their new, fresh pair of trainers. Thank you. So that was that was that was
Wow. That's not me. I'm just reading what's on the screen. Somebody's put. So that's not me. I've got my own thoughts. This is just hearing you. So you must know you have a gift.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like I have a gift. Funnily enough, I wasn't really great at speaking when I was growing up, and I've only really found my voice, I don't know, in the past 4 years or so. And I'm a 30-plus-year-old man, so so using words to kind of say how I feel, what I'm thinking, and I'm quite an abstract thinker as well. Hence, the piece I just shared. But to give a little context quickly, that piece was based on new trainers. I like to run, running trainers that I bought. And I was thinking, when I bought it, I was thinking, these are really uncomfortable. And I hadn't broken them in yet, hence the name, The Break-In. So I kind of wanted to write about it, let it be a bit tongue-in-cheek, but also let it kind of, purposely mislead the listeners. Sometimes it's interesting to hear what other people may think it's about until the last line drops, and then they're like, "Oh, it's about trainers." I get it. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, nobody's spoken to you, I can tell, because otherwise you wouldn't have been on the show at all. So I don't care. You know, you get to an age, I'm like 58, and I don't really care. So I go and be cheeky. I don't care. We need another one, please. Doesn't have to be from. Doesn't have to, guys.
Cool.
This book's 50 quid. No, it's not. You know you'd pay it anyway. How much is this, Native?
$11.99 on Amazon.
Is that all? He is giving these books away. $11.99 and plenty to dry. A whole heap of ting in here. A whole heap of ting.
Yeah, I can share one more. I'll leave you with this one. Hold on.
Listen, you don't understand. When you watch this back, you'll be like, it all just, honestly, you'll be thinking, how can we be talking menopause 1 minute and then we're talking this and then we're talking that? It just works. Honestly, it works. So thank you so much. Over to you.
That's cool. All right. There we go. All right. Yeah, this piece is called Boomerang. And this one's in the book, by the way. Without me knowing, I had been building what you are now, stacking the necessary attributes to make you who you are. I smile each and every time you do something I would do. It must be in a genius. My hand to yours, looking back at each and every stage of your growth to where you are now. A snapshot of your hand placed in mine on a journey together from birth to current stage. Each time with a different theme. You are at the stage where you can run, jump, and fly, but I have always given you a protection needed to shield you from the pain. My hand has a firm grip on yours, and yours wriggles wanting to be independent, at least for a little while longer. Similar to the god of thunder and the hammer, without a glance to measure your distance from me, I open my hand and my mind calls for you. You run up to grab my hand and your footsteps become the reoccurring sound of spinning excitement. My boomerang. I designed you, drew you, and carved out your ways, painted you and watched you dry. I am at the stage where I'm testing the waters as much as you do, when you do something cheeky and mischievous with your behavior, wondering how far I can throw you. One day, you'll read this and hopefully it will mean something to you. I don't think I could ever throw you and turn my back, even though you'd land on your feet and create opportunities and eventually a family for yourself. No, not because of that, but because of the love I have for you won't let me. I'll do my best to teach you how to embrace the universal laws of the land, dodge the dangers and glide with the joys of everything around us. I'll be at the edge of the cliff with the sun kissing our skin at every chance it gets, illuminating the sparkling blue waves below us. With you in my hand, knowing that the time will come when I'll have to throw you and let you fly towards your destination. I'll always be here watching with my hands at the ready should my boomerang ever want to come back home. Thank you.
I want to cry.
What do you think that's about?
Why are you putting me on the spot? Oh, seriously. I've got poems to read. I've got people messaging me, and I'm like, kind of like, oh my god.
What do you think that's about? What comes to mind? I'll be interested.
Veronica Ebanks. What's it about? Is she? Help me. 3 poems I've got to read now. Stay there. You're not going anywhere yet. Producer, do I have my next guest? She'll message me and tell me yay or no. Okay, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Don't you go nowhere. No, I didn't take my books with us. Native, this young lady here, we oh my gosh, where are they? I have got one somewhere. So we've written 2 books over lockdown. Veronica's responded to you, Native. Self.
It's not really about the self. I mean, a little bit. I can't say it's a little bit. It's a little bit. You said love. There's love in there, 100%. Yeah. The boomerang. You know,
the boomerang bit is the bit that I was thinking of. You know that
Right.
phrase, like if you love it, you set it free, and it will come back to you.
And here, 2 sets.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I think of when you got to the bit about the boomerang.
Interesting. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's elements. It's interesting you say that, because obviously that's what a boomerang does, right? You throw it out, and then you know, if it works right, it will come back to you. Do you know what I mean? But I used boomerang. I used, you know, the image of a boomerang to, I guess, describe my relationship with my kids, with my son. I wrote it at the time for my eldest son. You know, just seeing how much he's grown, you know, how much he annoys me sometimes, but the love is still there, you know. And when he grows up, you know, I don't really want to. I'd hope at least that I don't mollycoddle him to the point where he's not able to be himself, you know, be independent, because I want him to be. And once he's at that stage where he goes to uni or he moves out or whatever stage it is, you know, that I want him and his little brother to know, you know, I'm always here. Do you know what I mean? So that's essentially what it is. So yeah.
Shelley, have I not struck gold? Have we not struck gold? Okay.
I've got to warn you now. She did half mention it earlier, but it's once you're kind of in the circle that you kind of get stuck. Lovely stuff, but you get stuck. You get dragged back.
This young man works with. Tell us a little bit about what you currently do, because you work with young people, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's predominantly what I do. So yeah, I'm a qualified youth worker, and what I do now is that I use a lot of my creativity, my creative writing, poetry, and my acting background, using drama to really engage young people, whether it's in mainstream schools, PRUs, youth centres, etc. Something I've been doing for years. I've got my own theatre company that I run.
You never mentioned that.
I know. I guess there wasn't really time to really dig in, really. But yeah, so and that's based in Northwest London, and we're always looking for more young people. So if there's any young people out there from between the ages of 14 and 20, then do get in touch. And you're able to get to like Camden, like Northwest London, Camden, then do get in touch.
Look what the producer's just put. She's put, so that means what we need to get, not just yourself, but we know a gentleman called Aaron Fontaine, Luton Acting Hub, who is an actor, born in Luton, resides in London, but has been in Shell. What's he been in? Can't remember the shows he's been in. He was in Hollyoaks and some other stuff he's been in, some American show. There's all these people that she's mentioned are people, I should say unfortunately, along the way we've met them and our claws are in. So this is what we do, Native. We kind of like, we do shows, we do different events, but what we do as we go along, you meet people, and what we then do is connect. So you've now said the acting. So obviously Shell's kind of like, and it's like, right, we need to get you guys together. You're sort of like saying that you're looking for young people acting. we certainly would get you back on and do things that put out there that, you know, obviously not all our people are local people. They're from all over, and there may be people. Oh, gosh.
Oh, bless. Thank you.
That's my niece. Go Tishy. Go Tishy. Oh, look, Veronica's put, I've just missed that age range she's put. Yes, I know, V. Last year you'd have been in, girl. Last year
we might increase it. We might increase it, Veronica. We'll see.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I need you to know that from you doing obviously what you did at Soul Food Poetry, you said that was the first time you. Is that the first time you performed? Or you
No, that's the first time I performed there. First time I performed
at that venue. Okay, yeah. And from that, you know, springboard.
Yeah.
So I've got your details, and I will just share things, and that's what we do. And when we ask people to share, because sometimes things might not be for you as an individual, but your friend will say, oh, why didn't you say, you know, we talked about menopause before, and it could be something that you know or whatever. That will say, why didn't you share it with me? I'd have attended. Or it could be acting, and that's not for somebody else, but somebody else will be, why didn't you say the kids are looking for somewhere to go? They are in, you know, and that's why we share. So that way then, instead of keeping things insular, we can then be supporting one another. So this young man I haven't met, but the missus is probably recovering from the party, the kiddies party at the weekend. Otherwise, he would have been at the, they'd come along to the community, the youth event that we had. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. He's sharing some pictures. We're going to share some more. We've got to attend a showcase tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. And see who we can't link you up with, and maybe this thing, because collaboration is key as well.
Yeah.
Because when you do things, don't get me wrong, you could be doing something on your own and it's all great and what have you. But we've kind of, from what we're doing, is like linking with other organisations, with venues and what have you. We can support them, they can support us, and you're then moving further. Your reach is then getting bigger, and it's all it's win-win all round.
Yeah,
win-win all round. And as you can tell, we're passionate about young people, giving them platforms to do things. Look, we are community connectors.
100%.
We try. So, yeah. So, I'm going to sign off with you.
No worries. I'd love to come back on, man. So just keep me posted.
There's no doubt about it. I tell you what, if I didn't bring you back on, my inbox would be flooded. Why? You don't know what this lot are like. Don't be fooled and think they're all nicey. They're going to tell you. That's why the show's called Real Talk, and we need that. Because if you're on the wrong track, say for instance, I said I'm bringing you back, they'll be like, nah, D, you don't want him back. You don't want it back.
You have to have that honesty, right?
You have to. We have to keep it real. So what do you want to sort of like as your parting words, if that's the right word, for now, what do you want to leave the masses with? Don't forget to promote this. I can hold it up when you're ready. But I don't know, what do you want them to know out there? What do you want don't be fooled and think, no offense, it's all ages that watch. So you've got young people out there that are going like, So you can speak to them when you're speaking, and obviously you're speaking to parents, and just, I don't know, whatever you want to say. What I want to say?
I think what I want to say, I think just be the only person you can be is yourself. So don't try and fit into anyone else's shoes, I guess. Just do you. And yeah, things
I can see you in schools. I can see it kind of like doing boring presentations.
I don't think it's cheesy because I'm not a fan of cheese myself.
The kids are going like, when are you getting that person back in? You need to get that person back in, because we've stayed awake, we've paid attention, and we've listened.
Yeah.
And they want to know when you're coming back in. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, man. We'll yeah. That's my book, so please go and grab it. It's on Amazon, points of contact. And yeah, my Insta is @NativePray. So shout me, get at me, we'll chat.
Yeah,
Until next time.
the lovely Shelley producer has got that. That has been going all the time you've been talking, which has been quite a while, to be honest.
Yeah, I've seen
Quite
it.
a while. That's been going along there, and we'll be sharing on our pages also as well. So if you get more likes and more people thinking that, you think where from, you know where from, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You know where from. So guys, get out there. Points of contact. I've got a signed copy. So yeah, I'll be working my way through this, and it's not even a small little book. It's quite big. Quite big. So yeah, thank you so much. We
No
will definitely
worries.
get you back. So you live locally though, right? You live locally, but you do things in London. Is that how it goes, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Because we
love to start doing stuff up here. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm just thinking of Pamela, everybody. Pam, our friend Pam, the stuff in Brent. I don't know where you are.
okay, Brent, yeah.
And in schools, and there's a studio that she uses for things. And if people want to borrow the studio or use the studio, they're encouraging. So all that collaboration is what I'm talking about. So I don't know if she's listening because she's messaging me. Because I've actually got her to do a jingle for the event, the 12th of October, the Barrel Children. I've got her to do a jingle for me. So she said, I'm just in the studio, I'm just waiting for them to clear out, and then I can just finish off. So, yeah, I'll definitely
keep me posted.
You can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot off, but yeah, it's been a blessing. Thank you so much for having me on.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. That's what Veron just said.
Thank you, Veronica.
Wow. Thank you.
Take care, yeah?
All right, take care, darling. We'll catch up. All right, bye-bye. Wow. Wowza. Are you speechless still? Can you imagine? Oh, V was there. I went to Soulful Poetry with V in there, and there's lots of people performed. V will tell you lots of people performed, and I don't know what it was. I kind of was just drawn to him, and his partner was there, and we was chatting, got the book, and said, I want your show, and he just looked at me like I'm mad, and I'm like, no, seriously, you've got a show, it's on Tuesday, are you going to come on? And he's like, okay. And as I say, guys, as you see the year progress, you'll see when we say history, we're going to get him involved. So, moving on.
She's poem now. Got Kirsten that's just, or Kristen's just.
All right.
Yeah, but did you want to do Tishy's poem now? And now we were talking poems. I don't know whether you have to do all three though.
She said I do. So it depends what they are, to be honest.
I think they're meant to be like. I'm sorry, can you hear my thing?
Sorry, I'm on the slowest of computers that just cuts out. So I'm just, hang on, just waiting.
I don't know whether anyone heard that in the background. I'm sorry if you did.
What's that, me or you?
No, my Google thing. I've got the little Nest thing, and hubby thinks it's funny that he sets it up so at 9 o'clock it then starts singing the lullaby thing to you.
Okay. Right,
it's Coco time.
Okay. So let's hit you with the first one, guys. This one is called I Wonder. I wonder if I'm doing the right thing sometimes, but I know that things happen for a reason. I wonder if I'm doing things to please some people sometime just to keep the peace. I wonder what the future holds for me. I wonder why some people think they have the right to judge and say nasty things. I wonder why some people think that it is okay to tell others what they can do and can't do. I wonder when people with disabilities will be treated fairly like everyone else. I wonder when the government will stop doing what they want and listen to us who want change. I wonder what it would be like without the government and other world leaders sometimes. I wonder why God put some people on the earth. on the earth.
Wow.
So
Deep.
some we've not been around for a while, but we're coming back with some killer punches there, T.C. Thomas. That was the 9th of August. Okay, so that was I Wonder, guys. Keep saying it. Book. So this one is called Time by T.C. Thomas, and this was written on the 10th of August. I have spent so much time worrying about people's opinions and thoughts, and now I have decided that it's time to do whatever I want and care less about others, because time is flying by and I'm getting older. I'm giving myself time to learn more about myself and grow each day, because it's time to embrace the new version of myself and challenges that I have ahead. I'm getting older and wiser, and I really haven't got time for time wasters, because I haven't got time to waste. It's time to live my best life, and it's time to jump on the Tishi train, because I'm going to make my dreams come true, and I want to take you on the ride with me. It's time to let my tears go and be absolutely myself and fearless. It's my time now. So that one was on the 10th of August. And the final one from Tishi is called Blessing. And this one was written on the 22nd of August. Every day is a blessing, and a new blessing comes every day. Treat life as a blessing, because tomorrow isn't promised to us. Who comes into your life is a blessing, and those who walk out on you see it as a blessing, because blessings come in different ways. How true is that? Everything is a blessing, but sometimes we don't realize that. Some things are a blessing until later on in life, and more blessings come our way. So that one's, as I said, it's called Blessing, and that's by Tishi, and she wrote that one on the 22nd of August.
Wow.
Wow.
We're getting very, very into it. You've been quiet for so long, and now it's bang. She is back.
We've got to and maybe ask V actually just for, as in, like, I don't know how many poems now, Tishi. It's got to be over 60, 70. Put it in the chat or message me on WhatsApp. You'll know by the end of the show, guys, how many poems this young lady's on, because you got to remember she started after we wrote Life in a Lockdown. So that was kind of what, June, July 2020?
Yes, yeah.
And so we are now September 23. So 3 years. I'm sure she probably got over 100. She must have.
Well, you've got the different level shelf of poetry going on as well.
That I ain't reading. Yep, top shelf. Yeah, IED ain't reading them. So all you viewers out there that are thinking, no, I kind of skimmed and I was like, that's okay, because otherwise it was going to Auntie Shelley, who don't care.
Bit of spice. That's what it's got. It's just a bit of spice. Are you ready for your next guest now?
Yeah, I am. I am. So this young lady has been on before. Yeah.
Hey.
And it's dark.
Oh, okay. Let me change the lighting then.
It's dark.
Is that
Yeah,
better?
that's better. Hi, Kirsten. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm really, really good. How are you?
I'm good. Your dad was on early on. Hi. He sang, I remember I told you he sang at our wedding, which was
Yes.
last year, was 15 years.
Yeah, that
So
blew my mind. That blew my mind. That's so cool.
I know. It's a small world. That's why when people say you have to live good, that's where that comes from.
Yeah, that's it. I saw like, I love a good quote me, and it said, behave, conduct yourself, so if anyone was to ever speak bad of you, no one would believe it. And you know, the key to that is it's not an act. Just be authentic, be yourself, because it's simpler, and then it's quite simple to see who's your people and who's not, right?
For real. Sometimes you know we got to go through them storms.
Oh,
you have to go through the storms.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how are you going to know? How are you going to know? So you go through the storms, and hopefully all of them storms, as awful as they may be, they're lessons at the same time. They're lessons. And don't get me wrong, not all lessons are nice lessons. And they have to not be nice for us to be able to learn some things sometimes. Guys, welcome to my, I think you're my final guest tonight, Kirsten. So give it up for Kirsten Knight, everybody. In the house, tipping us over the 1 million marker of viewers, as always. There's some people going like, oh, I remember her. But there's a load of people like, not seen her before, ain't got a clue who she is, what she does, any of that. So take time. Because each time I get to speak to you, I'm learning as well. It's not a case of I don't think, oh, I know you. I learn something every time you speak.
Yeah.
So, yeah, peel it back from the young times and then bring us up to where we're at now. So that way then, sometimes when people see people, they're like, they're just landed where they are. Dee Bailey's just landed with a show, just landed with whatever, just landed. No. He's been a journey.
No, it took a long time to become the woman that I am, and I'm proud of her. But it weren't an easy road. It weren't an easy road. I mean, it's not all been bad, but, you know, I've definitely been through the struggles, and I see now why I went through those, because you can leave your footprint in the sand. Like what you went through and how you survived that can become someone else's survival manual. And often we have to learn the mistakes ourselves just to be sure.
Yes.
But for me, I think that I'm in a really good position, especially as a new mum. So my baby is about to turn 1 on the 15th of September. Yeah, he's standing up now, like he's just like one-handing on the sofa, throwing himself down, jumping onto the next sofa.
Right, showing off.
And I've seen him now a few times now hold himself for a second before he falls. So he'll get onto his feet and he stands up for a second and then he falls. So he blows my mind. But yeah, so you asked me a question and I have a habit of veering off.
Never would have guessed. I need you to take
So
back.
yeah.
Let's
okay, so you said my dad was on earlier. What, as a guest?
No. We're just in the chat. He commented in the chat.
Okay. So my dad is a singer too, and his name is Clayton Stevens. You may, if you're like around the Luton area, you may have seen him sing. Dee, as you just learned, had my dad sing at the wedding, which I learned on the last interview. I don't know what rock I was living under, but it is what it is, right? So basically just grew up in a musical household. So I've been singing since I was 9 years old, I guess professionally, really. I was entered into my first talent competition at age 9 upon me getting up on a karaoke. My parents didn't know that I was going to get up on the karaoke at our local social club. Everyone's drinking beers and eating peanuts, you know, the sort of scene that, you know, a lot of us grew up in the UK in particular. I got up and I sang Madonna from Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, You'll See. And I sang that and it's like the room stopped. I was 9 years old and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't certainly know what the emotion of that song meant. But it blew my mind that I had picked that song. That's the song that I had been listening to again and again and studying. So my dad and my mum saw that I was keen in that and I was entered into my first talent competition age 9. You know, my parents, they nurtured that. And they worked with that, choreographed it all. And, you know, I won that talent competition, and then just the singing never stopped. I've had some pauses, but it never stopped. I was fortunate to get to go to the Sylvia Young Theatre School. It's a famous school for the arts. Lots of famous people have been there. They're my peers. And, you know, it was a great fortune to have got to go. You know, I had some sponsorship to do that as well. So it wasn't just my parents that bared the school fees, that they were hard. We had some sponsors as well. So it was like a half scholarship. But that was like straight an intro into the industry. We had PR lessons. We had speech lessons. We had tap, ballet, acting, comedic acting, dramatic acting, improvisation. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was normal academia. And then Thursday, Friday, we were in our leotards, our jazz pants, our ballet slippers and our tap shoes and in our rucksacks. So it was a completely different way of living. And I had gone, if you're a local person, the school doesn't exist anymore. I think it's Barnfield West or something. But I went to Lee Manor for a year. I went to Beechwood Junior School, and I went to Lee Manor, and then that's when I moved in year 9 over to Sylvia Young Theatre School. So that was a massive culture shock, for obvious reasons. I guess maybe not to yourselves, but it was just a completely different world in a sense that these were celebrities' children. These were old money children. They all had Louis Vuitton bags.
Can you name drop? Can you do that?
I could, of course I could, but I'd rather not.
Okay.
I find it a bit corny. Sylvia Young Theatre School. If you put Sylvia Young Theatre School students or alumni, you can have a look. There was one class per year group, so everyone knows everyone. We were all in singing classes and acting classes together, and you know, it's pretty cool stuff. And I am proud of that experience, and did lots of TV shows. What I could share is maybe some of the stuff I did. So one of that I'm really, really proud of is I'm in the classroom scenes for the first season of Little Britain, in the Vicky Pollard school class scenes. So I'm a supporting actor in that scene. All of the school scenes for that. TV shows I did a show called Britain's Brilliant Prodigies with Davina McCall as the host. I did, and that was also Dermot O'Leary as well. He hosted that with Tama Palmer Tomkinson, rest her soul. I did Barrymore. I did the Eurovision as a finalist, and also I was invited back, got to sit in Trevor McDonald's seat and present the United Kingdom vote. Sang in the Royal Albert Hall. Yeah, I'm in Harry Potter as well. I don't talk about a lot of people that know me now, or I just don't really talk about the past, because I guess I'm not going that way. But it's important to celebrate the cool things, because I think when we look at the past, it can be too painful. We forget the magic. Like, we can just say, oh, it was a bad day, when you really had a bad 10 minutes. Now, it's really a choice at that point. Do you decide to unpack there? Or do you keep it moving? Okay, I see the lesson here. Not going to get stung that way again. Actually, this is not worth my peace. I'm going to release that. And I'm going to say, not today. And I'm going to smile and I'm going to walk off. So fast forward to where I am now. I am a new mum. I've got a 1-year-old almost. I've got a teenage daughter, a 12-year-old going 13 in October, stepdaughter, who is just such a blessing. So I've just overnight, really, it feels, become a mother of a 1-year-old and a teenage daughter. But it's all happened within the past couple of years. When I first moved to Newcastle from Luton, met the love of my life, and I was pregnant within 3 months. And I had so many plans, but you know what? God happens when you're busy making plans. So, you know, it's not just a year, is it? You've got the whole pregnancy. The minute that I knew that my son, Remy, was in my womb, then that, you know, as a woman, that maternal instinct just kicks in, that lioness, that protector, that provider. And that is something that I have really, really struggled to navigate this year, because how do you balance motherhood and wanting to hustle harder than you've ever hustled in your life? Because you want to provide for that baby. You want to give him everything he needs. Everything. And not a hair on that baby's head will be harmed. And what a beautiful head of hair, and what a beautiful head. Yeah.
So
I'm not the person I was before I got pregnant, you know? It's been a beautiful evolution.
Do you feel guilt sometimes when you're
my gosh. So I just literally came. So I'm sorry that I didn't get to see more of the show, but I've just come from a rehearsal with a 6-piece jazz orchestra, because I'm doing an amazing gig on the 23rd of September in this neck of the woods up in the northeast, for the biggest charity for autism, supporting those living with it, children with autism, and the parents as well. So we're doing the charity gala, and you know, we had a heavy rehearsal, so I've just kind of ran back. So I'm sorry that I didn't get to. What was the question again? That's my mummy brain. The guilt. Okay. So I was thinking, what brilliant rehearsal, amazing. And then I was like, oh my God, I've just missed 4 hours of my son's life. Because I saw, like, I get updates on my phone. So I saw that there was movement detected in his room. So I just looked at the time and thought, that's Jamie taking Remy to sleep. And I thought, oh, like, yeah. But I sort of resolved that I spend most moments he's on my hip or in my side. And I think it's really, really, really important not to lose yourself in motherhood. Especially as a first-time mum, when you don't understand it. Everything's new. There are plenty of manuals. There's plenty of books. I bought them all. I was panicking. I'd never even changed in my life. I'd never changed a nappy in my life. I'm not joking. And I all of a sudden, like, I was wrapped up in this, motherhood. And then I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. They're going to trust me with the baby. And it's instinctual. It's the most natural thing I've ever done in my life. But it's also been the hardest, because you have to absolutely unbecome to become. They actually liken it to teenage hormones, like where you're trying to work out who you are and where you belong in this world. There's a term, I think it's a Latin term, but I can't remember. I don't know off by heart, and I'm not going to attempt it. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us, the masses, what's a daily challenge for you? By the way, everybody that's watched the show will know that, and you know yourself and those guests that have come on, it's not an interview. We don't I'm going to ask you this, you know what the answer is going to be. No. I don't know what you're going to say, and vice versa, and it goes wherever it goes. So I'm just throwing that out to you. What's the most challenging thing, would you say, right now for you?
Finding balance. I'm a Libra. The scales. Finding balance. I have a hyper-productive spirit. Like, there's just not a lazy bone in my body. I think it is to do with how I grew up, and it was quite militant to get me to where I was competing. It was an athlete. I was an athlete. It's a sport, and I'm an athlete again.
Naturally, you'll always be competitive then, won't you? Yeah, even with yourself. Yeah.
So for me, I'm just always doing the most. Not doing the most in a sense that I'm in people's business. I haven't got time for that. Or starting any dramas. I haven't got time for that. But I'm doing the most in my hustle. You know, I got to a crossroads where it was time to work out if I went back to work a couple of days a week. And I was naive. I didn't understand the childcare costs. I live very, very far away from my family. I couldn't have moved further away.
No, you couldn't.
I couldn't move further away within this country. Like, I moved from Luton to Newcastle. And I just didn't have that support network here. I couldn't even go to the gym. And it took me to ask. It took me to say, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling. I've been down the pharmaceutical meds route. It don't work for me. Please help me to go to the gym a couple of days a week so I can get my mental health back on track. And you know what? Jamie's cousin Sarah came through. And I've got to say that was a turning point. that was a turning point, because anyone will know, if you don't have that support network, you can feel like you're drowning in motherhood. My partner was on night shifts. The universe has changed that now, and I'm grateful, because I was pretty much on my own in a completely new area. I was so overwhelmed, and the guilt was excruciating at that point, because it was the only thing going on in my life. So the smallest error, I would just feel so bad, until I realized that was taking me away from him. Being an anxious wreck is taking you away from being present, which is taking you away from your child. And the best piece of advice I got was to forgive yourself quickly as a mummy. That doesn't mean don't learn. That doesn't mean be careless with the care that you are supposed to provide. But it means if you made a mistake, you learn from it. You learn from it, but you forgive your heart, because you didn't mean to.
Wow. I think you're relatively young still, but you've got such a, not old as in last, sort of, but an old head on your
I've been here
shoulders.
before. I've been here before. I'm very, very spiritual, and I'm connected directly to source. And that might be mumbo jumbo to a lot of you, and I'm sorry if it is, and I'm sorry if I've turned you off. But for me, I think spirituality is key, because that is what keeps me in check with knowing what is worthy of my attention and what is not. Because I really don't need distractions to take me away from my son. My man, my stepdaughter, my home, my dog. Like, honestly, people be people. You know, I have my little sayings that I come up with. I'm a wordsmith. People be peopling. You know?
I hear that. I hear that. I see going across our strip there. Producer Shelley.
I did not purchase a ticket to the circus.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. What's happening on the 1st of October?
It's my birthday, and I'm releasing my debut album, because I've never put an album out before. So I'm releasing never, just singles. It's called I Deserve It and Endings. And it really is about people be people, and I guess that's what started the process of the album. And it's just, it's working out, what do I want to put up with? What will I accept? Because what you allow continues. It absolutely does. And I have absolutely, anyone that's known me, I'm not the person that I was a few years ago. You know, I'm not the person I was last year, because then motherhood came along and changed me again. Then when you're a new person and you know your worth, because you figured that you deserve happiness, then what you will accept from other people shifts. And then you have to introduce new boundaries. Now, this is a chat that I had with my daughter, my stepdaughter, Leah. And I also had it with my friend who's the same age as me a couple of weeks ago. It's, how could you expect someone to respect your boundaries if you haven't told them? But most people don't even know what they are. What are your boundaries? Because if you don't even know what they are, if they're a little bit iffy. That's a briefing.
I've got boundaries. Everyone's like, I've got boundaries. Are your boundaries clear? Exactly what you're saying. Are they clear boundaries? And we say we've got boundaries, but then something happens, and then we'll be like, and it's like, actually.
Because we've got hearts, haven't we? You know, some of us have got hearts, big hearts, precious hearts. And some people, you know, you just, honestly, you let something slide, people start ice skating. It's a rink. It's a full rink. And then it's rank. I don't need to let it get to any Rankville, because I'm going to send you a warning shot. First time you disrespect me, I'm going to let you know it ain't happening.
Oh, see, she's put amazing.
Because I used to be so understanding, and I'm really, really empathetic, but you can be too understanding.
Sister.
You can be too understanding.
That's where I say, and people take your pain for weakness.
Oh yeah, people always want to take kindness for weakness, but I refuse to let the world change me. I've just got good at seeing people the first time they show me who they are and saying see you later. In fact, I don't even say see you later, I'm just gone. Poof, gone. See you later. I've got a family.
That is energy, right? That is
baby.
Energy. As in, yeah, totally get that.
My baby's a great protection, because I think sometimes, like, we'll go out and we're tired, but we'll just go out of duty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that we shouldn't go. We're not going to be the best version of ourselves. Those are the times trouble happens, because people just get on your last damn nerve. And you're always like, oh, I didn't go, I knew.
Still. That's right.
You got a spiritual warning. Your spirit guides were telling you quite literally, don't go. When you're like, I don't want to go. Like, but my baby's such a protection, because I'm like, oh, Remy, the baby can't get a sitter. And, you know, the truth is I can't get a sitter. I can't. But I'm figuring, I've decided, for as long as he's alive, as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna say Remy, because actually every day I need to be on top of my form for him. Because even when he's 35, even when he's 40, when he's 50, like, I don't know how long I've got on this earth. We don't know. I hope it's long for him, because my job is to adequately prepare him for life without me and make sure that he's got something there so he doesn't have to go and do things he doesn't want to do.
I hear.
Yeah, that's my job. I know my role. But he's a great protection.
Fabulous. So, album is out 1st of October. What's happening? Is it Thursday?
Thursday, I've got the album launch party. So it's like a listening party. And we'll be singing the songs. I've got some of my band members. I've got a jazz band. So I've got a double bass player, big instrument, and then a pianist. So we're going to perform songs from the album. And it's also the launch of a brand new community showcase that I've put together, celebrating and giving a platform for local artists.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it's a ticketed event. It's £5 on the door, and it's literally just going to paying the talent. I'm not going to earn anything from it. Yeah. But I'm happy with that, because it's just exciting. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, to help the community and do that. That's in my heart, to help.
Excellent.
And I do think that, you know, particularly, well, just everyone, no one's been the same since COVID and the lockdown. It massively affected me, and, you know, for me on the live music scene, I had a sellout show at the Bear Club on Valentine's Day 2020, and we were planning on going to Ronnie Scott's and using the fact that we'd sold out the venue with a huge waiting list to then go and get more, you know, even more gigs. And I just felt really sorry for myself at the time, because everything that I'd worked for, it felt like collapsed. But I'm not the only one. But people haven't really recovered from that. And for me, it's just a case of getting people up onto the stage. I've got some amazing acts on the lineup, but there's also a small open mic segment as well. So, you know,
this is all in Newcastle, right?
Pardon?
This is all in Newcastle.
Yeah. Well, it's a little village just outside of Newcastle called Birtley. Super cute.
No problem.
Yeah,
So
really, really.
What about local people?
Pardon?
No offense, they love you to bits, but are they going to be travelling up to Newcastle? Are you not doing anything locally?
No. I had a friend that said she's coming. She's like, you know what, mate, that's far. And I'm like, I know. I'll see you soon.
So you're going to do something locally, or?
I would like to, because I've also got another album coming out on 11/11. So, yeah.
So you're talking about 2 albums in like 2 months?
Yeah, and then I've got another album as well, which is the one that All at Home was, that, you know, that I came to promote last time, which got paused, and I didn't put that out yet. And I'm going to put that out either at Christmas or Valentine's. Yeah, because I'm sitting on a lot of content, Dee. Like, my output's large, but I've got a little bit more calculated about how I just put things out. I don't really want to do it willy-nilly. I kind of respect myself more as an artist now, because it's not just about hitting release, it's about the promotion that goes into that. You know, it's doing the radio shows, it's talking to people, it's engaging, it's getting out and performing live. Like, you could make some music, you could make an amazing song, but if you just leave it on your computer, no one's ever going to hear it. Like, we were uploading one of SJ's, my partner's, that's his rap name, uploading one of his songs because that video is going to drop soon, and oh my god, that's exciting. But he was like, shall I enter into the charts? I was just like, yeah. And he's just like, it's £25. I was like, if you don't invest in you, if you don't bet on you, who's gonna? And also, how are you gonna win if you ain't even in the race? So he's sharp pressed the click, you know. Obviously you have to balance, because we've got to buy nappies and wipes and milk. So it's you know, it's real. Parenthood is real.
Excellent. So lots and lots going on, and also, as you explained,
alcohol free, by the way. I'm not just swigging a beer here. This is just a soft drink.
Some people won't know why you said that. Think like, so what? Probably think that because you're on the show that you can't have, but that's not the case at all.
No. I felt the need to say it.
Yeah. So I need for you, what do you want to, because we're going to wrap in a minute. What do you want to say to the masses out there, those that know you, those that don't know you? This is you, Kirsten Knight. We are here Tuesday, 5th of September, 9:30, and you're giving it to us.
Okay, so just, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Dee. Thank you to the whole Simply Deez family. Love you. Can't wait to meet with you. Sorry that we missed each other at the International Women's Day. Was going through some real postpartum anxiety and depression, and I just didn't feel up to it. And I didn't feel up to facing Dee and her probing questions.
It's all right. It's all saved for you, Kirsten. It's all saved. So next year, do you know what I mean? There's always a time.
No, and that's amazing. I didn't have anything to offer at that point.
That's it. And we'll have you enough time. Your position is still there. We're waiting for you.
Big love to you. But yeah, my album is going to be out on October 1st. It's called I Deserve It Endings. And for me, it really is just a case of a great clearing. I'm being very, very, very honest about the past. And there is some messages to be heard. And I'm giving my side of the story. And I'm moving on with my life, because my life is magical. My life is beautiful. And it's about cutting ties. And it's about putting me and where I've got to now as a priority, because I deserve it.
Wow.
That's going to be out on the 1st of October. I will be sharing on my social media, which best thing is Instagram, Kirsten Knight 1111. So all the ones, Kirsten, Kirstin, Knight like a knight in shining armor, and then all the ones.
I think I'll get the producer to put the last message that's just come through. Can you see it? I think, put it on there, producer. Can you read that? I think we can try and sort out a small gig down here.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing, especially for 1111, because that's a really, really magical album as well, of just good vibes. And I think it would really elevate. And I've been working where to go, and I've been questioning, do I come back to Luton? Does Luton even want to show me any love? What's Luton to me now? What am I to Luton? And I feel like that's a really beautiful invitation. So I think if we do it together, then we can make that happen for sure. I think that's really exciting.
That Shelley producer, where's she at? She's there. We are kind of rapping. Look, there she is.
Shelley, hey girl, how you doing?
11 is a very magical number.
I give thanks every day at 11:11.
There's a lot to it. If anyone out there that wondering what we're talking about, just put 11:11 in on Google, and you'll actually see some of the stuff that comes up around 11:11. 11:11 the time, 11:11 the date, 11:11 just the numbers.
Awesome.
Love that. I can't
So-
wait to finally meet you as well. Can't wait.
Oh, bless you. You will. It will happen. We're going to make it happen.
We've all said it now. You manifest it. You put it out there. It
That's
happens
it.
We're
some way or
November,
another.
'cause the album is out 11/11, the next one. So can we do something in November around that point?
I don't see why not. Of course.
Yay!
We'll have you back on. Definitely.
Fantastic.
Definitely. So for now, Kirsten Knight, anything more that you want to share with the masses as you go?
Yeah, just please join me and wishing in advance happy birthday to my light and soul and my everything and my heartbeat, my little boy Remy, who's going to be born on September 15th.
Oh, happy birthday, Remy. Yeah, oh, I see him. I see him rocket, and I'm thinking, like, hang on a minute, he's crawling now.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to be walking by the 15th. Like, as I said, he can stand up for a second unsupported.
Yeah.
And he's
game over now.
He's determined.
Unmute myself might help. It's just seen that one thing. That's all it takes. By the time they're up on their toes, it's just that one thing they see, and then that's it. It's gone.
Yeah, and he's quite destructive now as well. He's taken to just like ripping chunks out of plants. And I'm like, son, they are living creatures. He's not listening to a word.
No, it won't change, love, either. Also say, which I already know, Kirsten can cook great chicken. She's seen it on the socials. I've seen it too. Anybody want Sunday dinner? Anyone want their hair box braids?
Oh, yeah, in the northeast. I've got a Caribbean cuisine. One of my mummy hustles is I've got a Caribbean cuisine called Don't Be a Jerk. And it's going really well. I've also taught myself to do dreadlocks. So I've already had a couple of paying clients now. Nails. It's just so strange. I didn't see myself jerking chicken and doing dreadlocks at any point, like professionally in my life. But the mummy hustle is real, and I'm here for it.
Excellent. Oh, Kirsten, thank you so much for taking the time out, because I know you've had a busy schedule and you've got busy time anyway. So we do appreciate you. All right, and we will catch up. I'll catch up with you anyway, but we'll certainly get you back on in November for that album.
Yes, and the gig, and the gig.
We've got to try and do a gig. Somehow we'll have to do it.
The gig. We'll talk. Right, big love to you. We'll catch up soon then, yeah?
Take care, darling.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So much. And it is true. I don't matter who you are, there is this thing about sort of like a normal job now cannot do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, and people are getting creative, and say something that you enjoy is then turning into a business.
Yeah.
Or just to bring in that extra income. I've got to share something, and which I'll share in a moment. This is something sort of like my husband, people think like, my husband is doing. And so I'm not going to go into too much depth, but just plant a little bit of a seed here, and then we will get him on the show. Yeah, he talks more than me. No way. Yes way. And we'll talk about that. But Cheryl, we've had such a roller coaster, haven't we? I can't believe we are. September's just, you know, because we're continuously talking dates all the time. Dates for this. Shelley ringing me yesterday, just going like, "Do you want me to book this Christmas?" Oh yeah, because it was 8 o'clock. We don't ramp.
No,
I was
that
supposed to
sold
be
out
actually.
in 26 minutes.
Sorry, it filled out.
The inside hall sold out within 26 minutes.
Easy.
Which is why I was on the phone to you.
Yeah.
But then thinking about Christmas, it was like, oh, really? When did you start?
It cost less than last year, though, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Yeah. So for those, because I saw in the WhatsApp, and I was thinking, I hope they blame Shelley for not sharing it with them earlier, because they've all got. Oh, that's funny. So much. Saturday, a first for Simply Deez. Started way back, probably about nearly a year ago, I think. There's our Shell putting in a funding form. Let me tell you something now. Shell, are those things easy?
No. Funding never is, but yeah.
You know, and Shell doing that to then kind of, I think it's February, Remy, our Remy had to do a presentation. I can't remember, was that Farley Hill? I can't remember where it was.
No, it was down St Mary's Church in town.
That's it, St Mary's in town. And did a presentation, and all the organisations, individuals who were after the Luton Citizen funding had to do that. It was basically, you had to do a pitch, a bit Dragon's Den-ified, and those people in that area had to vote on the ones that, yeah, they wanted to see happen. So we were fortunate to get funding for that, and we executed said event Saturday gone. Yeah. I'm still in that kind of, people are still talking about it, people still sending pictures and videos and all sorts. We're going to be revisiting it again tomorrow because there's going to be a showcase at Delhi High School that we will be attending. Blimey, what else? Saturday, going to be at the library for is it the Literacy Fair? Literacy and Illustrators Fair. I think that's 11 till 2 is coming Saturday. Sunday, we had the awesome Veronica Ebanks on, who is following up her successful conference with a webinar, and this is free, FREE. You do not get information of this magnitude for free. So please, you do need to register on Eventbrite. That's just so you've got an idea of numbers, all that sort of stuff. But I will be there. I don't know, she's got me doing some stuff. Don't know what. I'll probably find out on the day. No, seriously, no, she's told me. But we have got surgeon. What do you mean a surgeon? Yes, a gynae surgeon. Somebody that makes those cuts, does those things. So when you're asking those questions, or you've got questions, I suggest you get yourself on this so you can ask. She is so honest, so real, so down to earth. And there's a nutritionalist, and there's Ruth from Kaleidoscopes, and I can't remember what Ruth's doing. She's doing some menopausey, type-ish, fibroids. All of those things are encompassed 2 hours. 2 hours might sound a lot, but not when you've got your questions. And you know what? Sometimes you could be silent. You don't even have to ask it. You can put it silently in the chat if you want to. You could even, on today's show, you might put a question on there. And we will then make sure, it gets asked and answered at the event. So that's that. Then, oh, God blimey. I'm sure there's probably more things in September. We've got the Life in a Lockdown, which will be next week. So we will inform you who our special guest is. And we are going to be talking, I don't know, it's health, it's well-being. There's so many topics that we're going to be covering over the next few months. So please, please, please watch out for that. What do they need to do? I think Shelley's, this is how helpful. Can't like really do any more. But click a button for them, can we? All the information, the Linktree information, Facebook, Instagram.
Don't forget the In Together, Share Together. If I see something that's popped up on Luton Borough Council or any of the other charities or the projects that's going on around Luton that we follow, if there's an event going on, I'll chuck it in there. But anyone can do that. If you've got something that you've seen that you think other people might be interested in, share it in there. All we ask is that it's something community based. If it's, you don't want all these kind of like, oh, there's a job offers and that kind of stuff. It is all the different events that are community based. Put it in there, and that's the whole idea. You're sharing stuff in and you're sharing stuff out again to friends and family. So anything around in this area, and there was a lot that was in there through the summer holidays for the kids. And now there's going to be a lot that's going in there because all of those charities, all of those youth clubs and everything else are now backing after school clubs and everything else. And all of those kind of like your football projects, because football is now starting, all of that kind of stuff will then be in there and needs to be shared in there and shared out from there. There's so many people that then say, oh, I didn't know, or I don't know what to do. And you've listened to this show in the background today while, I don't know, you're doing the washing up or whatever, and you've heard something, and it might pop up in your conversation in a week's time, and they'd be like, go back, you can watch it on replay, so-and-so was talking about that.
Exactly. So that's the importance, and we've found the importance of sharing. You know, Native, who was on earlier on, my gosh, gone to the bear club just to mind my own little business.
Yeah.
Not. If you know me, you know I ain't gone just to mind my own business. And it's like one of so many nuggets out there that, I don't know, you don't go, you don't hear, you don't know of people. And then it's not just a case of like, yeah, he was awesome on the night, all the rest that goes with that. It's like, how can I, within what we do, how can we support? So if he's been on the show now, and that's, we know we're going to see and hear from him again, in case he thinks, well, I hope he's now been given a bit of exposure. Hopefully those that have listened and will watch will be like, oh, talent, not just in terms of obviously the spoken word side of things, but he's working with young people. He's got is it acting school, isn't it, Shel? He said?
Yes, he said
Got
acting school,
So many things. It's like, oh my gosh, you live in Luton. It's like, we are so rich with talent. But you know what? Some people think if you work in isolation, you're going to go far. I think you'll quickly find that is not the case.
No, definitely not.
It is not the case. It is about collaborating. It is about working with others. And that doesn't mean you have to work with that and you have to. It's just a case of like just doing that. And if you give, do you know what? You don't know what you might receive back. Because sometimes, you know, when people are like, I can't afford that, and I can't afford that, and I can't afford that. But what is that thing where you sort of like, you can exchange, but it's not money? I'm no good at that, but shall I tell you what? I'm really great at producing flyers and posters and God knows whatever else. So I tell you what, you do that and I'll do that. There you go. You've got something you need. Somebody else has got something they need. And no money's being exchanged.
Yeah.
What's that thing called, Shell? Can't remember. Whatever they call it. But there's so many people out there that are talented.
Yeah. I mean, it's all down to sort of like your actual niche of what you're, as you say, what you're good at. One of the things I was going to say tonight very quickly was September being Suicide Awareness Month, and then you've got the Suicide Awareness Day. So that I'm going to be posting bits and pieces to do with that out. But you saying about collaboration, when I did the Baton of Hope, that was to do with collaboration. That was rather than another suicide charity being set up. It was a way to get the whole of the nation talking about it, and in the areas that the Baton visited, it was the charities and the projects that were in that area all came together as well. So we were sharing each other's like the what we do and how we do it and the reasons behind why we do it. Pretty much every single, because of the nature of the project, of the suicide awareness and prevention, is because you have a lived experience of it in some way. It's because of someone, and to have all of us all together, whether you was individuals, whether you were part of charities or projects, everyone was all together, and it brought the whole nation together, and then it put it straight into government, straight into Parliament. And it was a kind of, now we're all saying this is not good enough. And to have that as a collaboration could be something like that, as big as that's nationwide, or something that's just in your local community. It could be just your village. It could be just your district of the town. Collaborating together makes your voices
much
heard. And and every time I talk about Simply Deez, I use the words that I used earlier. We're community connectors. we've got lots of projects going on that we do, but we're always bringing in others around us to do those. We're connecting people. It's not that we are a charity or like the CIC set up to do work in this field. Our field is the community. Our field is the village. And it's whatever highlighting in the different events. It's just all that same thing. I'll get up from pedestal now. The old soapbox, and I won't be moaning about it. You mute yourself.
Not at all. I was just thinking, as in terms of the event next week, as in thinking what that topic might be.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
And sort of like putting things in place for that prior.
When you said next week, I was then thinking, no, it's not the one that I'm doing Saturday, because that is then something completely different.
Yeah. So something, well, I don't know if new is the right word, because there's been rumblings for a little while now, but I'm going to plant a seed here tonight. Okay, and you will be hearing more. And as I said, this is my husband who is leading. That's Lloyd Bailey is leading. I am going to send you, because for some reason I can't put anything in the comments, Michelle. I don't know why. As in the general thingy comments, so I'll just put it in the private chat.
You have to put it on
So
Facebook.
I've just got an email, just so I can literally just done this today. It's a very long email address, but what we're looking to do is to get Luton's, I don't know if you can see the top of that bit there. Yeah, you can, I think, because I can see it. Luton Black Community Building Project. Bit of a long title.
Something.
A bit of a long title, but yes. So the foundation is currently being set. Okay, so it's an opportunity for people who want to get involved. Okay, there are no buildings where it is predominantly owned and run by the Black community. I think back in the day there was, but there are none now. Council have sold off, certain things have happened, and this is no longer. So it's a case of starting again, back in the foundation. There's an opportunity where some people have heard of like a partner. And it's in terms of sort of like investing to make that happen. So I'm not going to go into any more now. That's the email address. So I don't know if you're able to share that, Shelley. Going to get currently getting some bits and pieces done. Some more information will be out there. But you know how to get hold of me and contact me if you want more and a one-to-one conversation. So that's it. It's out there. It's out there. Couldn't do any longer because it wouldn't take all the letters and the words, and it's very hard to abbreviate. So com just was, that worked. That worked. So more information will be coming shortly. So yes, so much. If they want to know more, what do they need to do, Shell? You put all that information on there. I don't think we can do any more, can we? Are we going to do a newsletter?
No, yeah, we're doing newsletters. We keep doing newsletters. That it's the more bits and pieces that we get going on that goes on into the newsletter, then does make a difference. So you subscribe to that, go onto Linktree or the tiny Simply Deez email sub. There's a link on our Facebook page. You're not inundated with it. It's the monthly, unless we start doing more and more stuff in the community, and then people want to use our email address to have all their details going out on it. Possibly that might come later. But yeah, sort of you get when all the subscription stuff comes through. Linktree. Anytime anything new goes on that, you'll get an update on that if you set it up correctly at your end. And then the Facebook page. and the group page. It's all going to have loads of stuff on it.
Wow. Okay, so loads of seeds planted tonight. So much information. You can watch this back, pick out what you like, and share that, comment on it, and we will respond back. If there's anything you're unsure of or want more information, you know how to get hold of us. So do you know what? I think we've done very well tonight. 9:57.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
Is that happening?
Yeah. He's in the kitchen. Shelley heard you. They heard you, the masses out there. Yeah, he's taking the mic. So we're definitely getting off there now before we start singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we start singing. But he's like literally just got in. So next time we will get him on, and we're going to be able to talk more. Plus, there's going to be kind of like independent event where people can come in, talk about that more. But yeah, there's so much going on. So we thank everybody. We thank all of our guests today because we've had loads as always. Native, as Shelley said, and I told you, game over, love, game over. No running away. And I will be tapping into points of contact later. So for now, yeah, that's it for now, isn't it, Shell?
Yes, I think it is.
Let's sign off at 10 o'clock.
Yay!
Yay! I bet Hubs is going like ding dong bells.
He's gone to bed already.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I'm kind of, because I've, remember I was outside initially, then I've come inside. So I didn't really eat my dinner. So I need to have that.
Yes, you do.
But yes. Thank you all so much for everything. Yeah, see you later. See you later.